A crisp, cool afternoon. The scent of college football tailgating in the air. Fans gathered ready to cheer for the Purple on this final September Saturday in Big Ten country. For the Wolverines of Michigan, what was once lost may now have been found. With a conference win over Penn State, Lloyd Carr's team has set its sight on a now bright future. Along the shore of Lake Michigan, the Wildcats of Northwestern look to regain their early season form, which included a spectacular come-from-behind victory over Nevada. Both teams have gathered today in Evanston, Illinois. It's Big Ten football, and it's next. Will it be a senior at the helm or a freshman leading Michigan in its first road game of the season? We'll find out shortly. Ryan Field in Evanston on a perfect late September Saturday afternoon. The Michigan Wolverines are in town to take on the Northwestern Wildcats. Hi, everybody. I'm Wayne Larrabee along with Chris Martin. Dara McIntosh will join us on the sidelines in a few moments. Well, the Michigan Wolverines have won 2 in a row. Resurgent defense, but also a co-captain who's really stepped to the fore.
Well, Mike Hart is a special player. He's a physical runner. He runs behind his pads, meaning he has great vision and balance and cutback ability. He likes to get the ball down towards the end zone. And what I like most, Wayne, is he knows how to finish his runs and get the ball in the end zone.
Meanwhile, the quarterback situation in a bit of a state of flux here. Chad Henne has been cleared medically to play off a knee injury. Ryan Mallett, the freshman, has done a nice job over the last 2 weeks of the season.
And they're both very similar type quarterbacks. Big, physical. They have the measurables. They want to stand tall in the pocket, deliver the ball down the field.
Northwestern will be without its all Big Ten caliber running back Tyrell Sutton, a lingering ankle injury, so much of the load falls to the quarterback, C.J. Bechet, here today. He'll be at the trigger of Northwestern's spread offense. Stay tuned to the Michigan Wolverines, the Northwestern Wildcats. The kickoff is coming up. Big Ten Network Football is brought to you by U.S. Bank, home of the 5-star service guarantee. By Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing. And by Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be here. It is a beautiful, crisp, cool afternoon here in Evanston. Michigan and Northwestern, the third member of our broadcast team, Dara McIntosh. Let's hear from her right now. Dara?
Well, it seems that Michigan has struggled against the spread offense this season. In the first 2 games, they allowed 73 points combined. But it seems they've gotten their confidence back in the last 2 games, allowing only 9 points combined. When we spoke with defensive coordinator Ron English earlier in the week, he said that his team is a young team, but that they've started playing better these last 2 weeks because they're becoming more comfortable together as a unit. Today's test should be a very good game for Michigan because they haven't seen a version of Northwestern spreads so far like this season, guys.
Dara, you're exactly right. They were replacing 7 starters from a season ago in that defense. So early on, there were some rough moments. Suzuki keys to the game. Chris Martin, what do you say?
Well, Michigan's got to come out and get Hart established in the running game, get him the ball, pound it, and then defensively, they got to figure out how to box up the spread attack of Northwestern. Coach Carr said they've had trouble when they let the spread get outside on the perimeter. They look to keep it inside. In Northwestern, they have to be physical, go toe-to-toe with Michigan, and they cannot give up the explosive play down the field like they did a week ago to Ohio State.
And the coaches here this afternoon, Lloyd Carr in his 13th season at Michigan. He's won 78% of his Big Ten games. And for the Northwestern Wildcats, one of the youngest coaches in NCAA Division 1A, Pat Fitzgerald, second season at the helm of the Cats, a 2-time Bronco Nagurski and Chuck Bednarik Award winner as a player here at Northwestern. Northwestern will receive to start the proceedings here. So we'll get a look early on at the Wildcat offense, again, without Tyrell Sutton, and we'll get a look at the Michigan defense against a spread offense. The Wolverines seem to have gotten their swagger back in the last 2 weeks. Michigan has dominated this series, as you might expect, and they've won 3 of 4 here in Evanston.
Wayne, you talked about the swagger of Michigan's defense and studying tape all week. They're flying around, making plays. They're more confident in the scheme, and guys are making plays all over when their numbers are called.
Brian Wright places the football on the tee. Michigan in the traveling white jerseys. Maize in blue numbers. Simmons back deep. Return to kickoff, 99 yards for a touchdown last week, and this kick caroms just past the pylon through the end zone. There will be no return to start the game. It'll be 1st and 10 Northwestern at their 20-yard line. For the Northwestern Wildcats, without Tyrell Sutton, much of the, I guess the focus falls on the shoulders of junior quarterback C.J. Bechet out of Sacramento, California.
He has to be the man today. Ball distribution is the key.
And Northwestern opens up in the spread offense. Michigan with its spread defense, meaning the linebacker moves up to the defensive line. That's Crable. Quick toss to the flank, and that's Ward who gets up, and this play's still alive. Down the sidelines, can he get an angle? And down he goes. Rasheed Ward inside the 20-yard line. Everyone relaxed like the play was over, and Ward almost took it to the house. Brandon Engelman, a touchdown-saving tackle.
And this is just excellent awareness on the part of Rasheed Ward, realizing his knee did not hit the ground and having the wherewithal to continue the play. Excellent start for Northwestern, exactly what they're looking for. Guys to step up today and make big plays.
So here they are for 1st and 10, second play offensively for Northwestern at the 16-yard line of Michigan. And it looks like they're going to need a timeout here.
Is being reviewed.
An official's timeout to review the play. So right away, our replay official, Gene Carabine, checking it out up here at the press box level. And this should be a good angle on it. And his knee never touched. Not even there.
Excellent awareness on the field, though, by Ward to realize that and to extend the play.
Got another look right here, Chris.
That was a little tougher angle.
That end zone angle from the other side is what really showed you. And his knees stayed up. There's another look at it again. Brandon Harrison had him, and then the freshman Donovan Warren appeared to wrap him up, but Ward able to get up and motor down the sidelines.
And that's a great example, though, the play call of the effectiveness of the spread offense. You saw a lot of spacing on the field. It starts with alignment, and Coach Fitzgerald knows that he's got to get Michigan's linebackers out of the box. That was an excellent example of what you're going to see today, Wayne. Spread Michigan's defense out, make them cover wide receivers in space.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
And it appeared from the looks we saw, the video evidence, that was the correct call. But every play will be reviewed by the replay officials up here. And they could stop the game at any time. 64-yard play has brought Northwestern to Michigan's 16-yard line here in the opening minute of the game. Ward at the top of your screen. Bechet looking the other way. Good protection. Pass overthrown. Ross Lane. It was under bracket coverage in the corner of the end zone. Morgan Trent, the principal defender. Take a look at the Northwestern offense for you. We mentioned up front, Trevor Reese is a co-captain at center. At the skill positions, these guys will spread the field. Ross Lane is a favorite receiver, so is Eric Peterman. Rasheed Ward just made the play a moment ago. Omar Conte getting the start in the backfield and running back in place of Tyrell Sutton. 2nd and 10. Conte, not much there. I mentioned Michigan's linebacker Sean Crable will play in the spread defense. as a defensive end, and he made the tackle there.
Yeah, good observation. He can put his hand on the ground. He's a two-way guy. Can line up and get drops, but he also can rush off the edge. And that's the complement. And Conte is going to have to be the X factor, step up for the injured Tyrell Sutton.
3rd down and 9. 3 to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. Bechet. Ward inside the 10, but short of the first down to the 9-yard line. On a gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Harrison, the nickel back, will play as a starter today. Made the stop.
Wayne, that time this was just a check down by Bechet. He knew he was getting heat on the blitz. Good job of Ward sitting down in zone coverage. See the blitz coming right up the chute. Bechet knows it. He gets rid of the ball in a hurry to his outlet receiver, Rasheed Ward.
The junior from Inglewood, Colorado. Armando Villarreal, 4 for 4 this season. About a 27-yard field goal attempt. And the first points of the board. Northwestern scores first off the opening drive of the ball game. 3-0 Wildcats Michigan offense coming up next. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh, welcome back to Northwestern. Holiday Express scoring drive. Big play by Rasheed Ward, a 64-yard play, a little swing pass. Set up the field goal by Villarreal. And Northwestern has the early lead. Dropping back deep for Michigan, Brendan Miner, along with Brandon Harrison. And the kickoff by Stephen Lemos. Trying to hook it out of bounds, and the penalty marker comes down. Michigan will get excellent field position to start this drive. They're trying to pin the Wolverines in the corner, and he missed. The senior Chad Henne will get the start here today. A sprained knee against Oregon in week 2. He spent the last couple of weeks coaching up the freshman Ryan Mallett and doing a pretty good job of it, I might add. But Henne is the senior, and he's back at the helm of this ball club.
And Wayne, you have to believe that Northwestern is going to come after him early, test that knee, see how he moves around, make him move his feet, see if that knee is fully recovered.
So Michigan on a 1st and 10. Hart, the tail of the tandem, and he gets it going left. No surprise there, but a good play made by John Gill on the defensive line of the Northwestern Wildcats. Virtually no gain. The Michigan offense, and we begin with the big guys up front. Jake Long is the guy they will follow everywhere. Mario Manningham, the playmaker downfield. Mike Hart has carried the load the last 2 weeks. He had 44 carries against Penn State a week ago. 2nd down, quick little toss. Manningham cannot haul it in. The Northwestern defense has been giving up big plays at an alarming rate. 4 touchdowns of 24 yards or more in the last 2 games. We'll get to that lineup in a moment. 3rd down for Michigan. Manningham and Adrian Arrington at the top of your screen. They've got a slot on the bottom as well. Matthews the slot man. Massey a tight end in motion. And Henne behind good protection. Arrington near the midfield marker for a 1st down. Underneath the coverage of Brad Phillips.
Wayne, Adrian Arrington is the 3rd down conversion specialist. Last week he had 5 receptions to convert 3rd downs. You have to know where he is. This is an out cut. See the spacing there. Henne does a good job putting the ball on the numbers. You have to know where Adrian Arrington is on 3rd downs particularly.
15-yard gain to the midfield marker for the Wolverines. Northwestern showing a blitz with Cadella in the slot. And they're coming, and Hart's going right this time. And Making the stop on the play is the big defensive end, Corey Wooten. Let's talk about that Northwestern defense that has been burned by big plays recently. Mims has played well on the outside. Gill and Hahn inside are solid. Corey Wooten is the guy they expect more from and expect a lot from him today. Cadella, a senior, leads the linebackers. And in the secondary, they have been burned big time. At least last week they were. Brad Phillips getting the start in place of Brendan Smith as strong safety. Smith down with an injury this week. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Henny. Manningham in space. Manningham got a first down and more. Inside of the 40. Down to the Northwestern 37-yard line. Sherrick McManus made the stop on the play. And about a 14-yard gain.
Tackle by Sherrick McManus.
Right out the chute, you see Michigan trying to get Manningham involved in the game. He's the type of receiver he needs to get into the game early.
He was frustrated earlier this season, Chris, and you mentioned they might try to do that again today. Get him going early. A lot of wide receivers are like that. They need to get the ball early, get into a rhythm, feel the football in their hands. 2nd down and 10. Manningham, the man in motion. Henny looking that way. Manningham open under the coverage. Steered out of bounds inside the 30 at the Northwestern 29. Sherrick McManus on the coverage. Now, again, Chris, is this zone coverage we're looking at here?
It's zone coverage. They're trying to gauge the speed of Michigan's receivers. They're giving them too much respect and too much of a cushion right now. But I like what Michigan's doing. They're getting Henny's timing back. They're doing short, rhythmic passes.
So Michigan on a 2nd down and short. And he may be changing the play at the line. Mike Hart tried to cut it back, went nowhere. Boy, they are keyed on Hart here in the early going. And it is not 1 or 2 defenders, it's 3 and 4 defenders that are getting to Mike Hart.
Well, you're exactly right. And we talked to Coach Greg Colby, the defensive coordinator at Northwestern, and he said, how do you stop Michael Hart? Well, you do it by population. You get a lot of guys to the football, and clearly you see it here. Look at all those jerseys around the ball. You got to wrap him up. He runs through contact. He has great balance. But if you tackle him by population, you can stop him.
Got a lot of people in the Chicago area. That's heavy population. They may need them all. 8th play of the drive. 3rd down. Almost 4. Henny broken up, incomplete. Trying to again get it to Manningham. And that time it looked like McManus got a piece of it.
Manningham is not a receiver that likes to run just short routes. He wants to get down the field. Looked like that time he gave up a little bit on the play, short-armed it. He wants to go down the field. Good coverage by Northwestern secondary and Sherrick McManus.
Michigan is going to go for it. They're 1 of 5 on 4th downs this season. Jason Gingill has struggled as a field goal kicker, just 3 of 7. So Michigan on 4th down and a long 3 yards to go. Manningham in motion. Henny. He's got Manningham short of the first down. McManus on a outstanding tackle. Gain of just a yard to the 29 and a penalty marker thrown in the middle of the line.
Well, what Northwestern's saying is, hey, we're not afraid to go man coverage. You see McManus coming from the other side of the field, playing man-to-man against Mario Manningham, and this is a hard route to cover. One-on-one coverage going across the field. Excellent job stopping him short of the first down.
First down.
Holding the call on the defense. So that nullifies that play. I beg your pardon, not holding, but a face mask. And they mark it off from the previous spot. And it is first down for Michigan inside the 15-yard line. A 15-yard penalty for a face mask against Northwestern. Big turn of events on this particular drive. Here comes Hart, bulldogging his way down to the 10-yard line on a gain of about 4. Let's see if we can pick up where the face mask penalty occurred on that 4th down play a moment ago. Oh, there's the face mask right there on Hart. He's trying to get out into the pattern or make a block. My goodness.
Critical call. Northwestern had him stopped.
Again, yes, and again, a call away from where the play went. That's the frustrating part if you're Northwestern. 2nd down. Arrington, the man in motion for Michigan. Manningham jukes by a defender into the end zone for the touchdown. Deontay Battle lost his footing, and Mario Manningham an easy 10-yard touchdown reception.
Wayne, you don't want to put your corners out on an island one-on-one too many times with Mario Manningham, particularly when they're spacing out the field. It's a lot of room to cover.
Jason Gingell. And the extra point right through the uprights. Michigan answers the Northwestern opening drive with a touchdown drive. Mario Manningham involved early. He's got this 10-yard touchdown reception to give Michigan the lead. Thank you very much, Dave. Michigan with the early lead. Simmons cut down at the 20-yard line. James Rogers, a cornerback, brought him down. Holiday Inn Express scoring drive. Michigan. Now, you have to understand, on fourth down, when Michigan was stopped short of a first down, a face mask penalty against Mike Hart by one of the Northwestern Wildcat linemen kept that drive alive. Last year, Northwestern was the least penalized team in the nation. This year, they have been struggling with that category. Penalized 21 times for 201 yards in the last 2 games alone. Now first down near the 20. Bechet, quick toss, Thompson. Kind of turned his receiver around. Thompson looking to the outside shoulder. That pass came inside under the coverage of Donovan Warren, the freshman.
Exactly. That time the ball was inside on the back shoulder. Kim Thompson was looking for it to be closer towards the sideline.
And you would figure where the coverage was, you would want as a quarterback throw it more to the sideline. Second down and 10. Football at the 21-yard line.
Looking Northwestern to test that young cornerback of Michigan, Donovan Warren, number 6.
Bechet, good protection again. Underneath, catch made and broken up incomplete. Drake Dunsmore, one of the only 2 true freshmen to be playing in the program this season, unable to hang on.
Well, if you're Michigan, this is exactly what you have to do. In space, come up and tackle. Make good, solid tackles. You see him squared up. Good job of Chris Graham. Northwestern got the matchup that it wanted. Michigan's guys just did a better job of executing.
So a drop and a pass breakup, and Bechet facing 3rd and 10. Got an open receiver, threw it behind him. Ross Lane unable to gather it in under the coverage of Morgan Trent near the first down marker at the 31-yard line of Northwestern. It is 4th down for the Wildcats.
It was a nice play by Morgan Trent, not giving up on the play. As I tell you, Ross Lane looked like he was going to make an acrobatic catch. Good job getting a hand in there, getting a PBU.
Accuracy a problem there for the quarterback on that 3 and out.
Northwestern can't find themselves in 3rd and long too many times today.
Stephen Demos on in punt formation. Twin safeties back deep for Michigan. Demos, line drive rugby kind of kick. And the Wildcats have it covered inside the 45. Michigan, good field position. Will start nonetheless at its 42-yard line. Let's get down to Dara McIntosh. Dara?
Important, Coach told us, the offensive coordinator Mike DeBoer told us this week, it was very important for Mario Manningham to get his hands on the ball and score. You know, he's only had 1 touchdown on the season, yet he's the team's leading receiver. He had 19 catches coming into the game, but yet had only gotten into the end zone once. They said that he started out slow, but this was important for his confidence to get into the rhythm of this game and actually get some points under his number.
And Dara, he's got 4 catches already today. Mike Hart trying to follow Jake Long off the left side of that line. Picks up a yard or 2. Not much more than that. Quentin Davey came into the linebacking court. Davey getting the start in place of Prince Quitang today at outside linebacker on the strong side.
Going back to Dara's point, we talked to Coach Carr about Manningham, and he said they knew coming into the season that he would see a lot of double teams. You're going to get a safety rolled to his side, but he says he just has to keep playing and continuing to make the plays.
2nd and 9. Mallett in at quarterback. Ryan Mallett. Hart Hahn nearly tripped him up in the backfield, and Hart able to keep his footing and pick up about 3 yards to the 47-yard line, where it'll be third down for Michigan. Mike Denard, a linebacker, made the stop for Northwestern.
It's interesting. We talked to Coach Fitzgerald early in the week, and he said typically Michigan runs to the left side behind Jake Long 73% of the time. So far today, they've been going to the right more than they have the left.
Chad Henne started, Ryan Mallett on for this series. It is third down Michigan, third at about 6. Mallett steps up. Lets it go late and wide of the mark, intended for Adrian Arrington. It is a fourth down.
And it's almost funny. You can just about set your watch to it. On third down, they're looking for Arrington, number 16. He's good at sitting down in the zones, but Northwestern brings the fire to the young Mallett. Make him move his feet and have to think quickly before he delivers the ball. That time they did, and he made an erroneous throw.
And you're right about Arrington. Had 5 third down catches last week against Penn State. Zoltan Mesko, one of the best punters in the country. Fair catch signal is made, and the Wildcats will accept near their 15-yard line. Rasheed Ward on the reception. 7-3 Michigan, first quarter in Evanston. Thank you, Dave. I tell you what, those Boilermakers have it in high gear this season. And they're scoring some points. Leader quarterback just outstanding. Meanwhile, Northwestern first down. Omar Conte nowhere to go. Sean Crable, the outside linebacker, playing on the defensive line today. And the spread defense of Michigan makes the tackle, loss of about 3. It is the show for all Big Ten fans, featuring highlights, analysis, interviews, and much more. And sometimes even my partner Chris Martin's on that show. The Big Ten tonight, every night, right here on the Big Ten Network.
And so far, Michigan's doing a good job of keeping Northwestern boxed inside. They're not letting the receivers get out on the perimeter.
Second down, Conte, nice hold up the middle. Conte across the 20, stopped just short of the first down. Shakir Edwards made the stop on the play for Michigan.
A little inside play here to Conte. Nice cutback right there. Excellent block up front. Needs to protect the ball running into that traffic, but he's a downhill runner. He's physical. Made of the same mold as Sutton, but doesn't have the same burst.
Conte was one of the top recruits when he came in with Tyrell Sutton. They thought he would be the franchise back. He just developed a different way. Conte got injured early in his career. Sutton got an opportunity, took full advantage of it. Now the shoe is on the other foot with Sutton down due to injury. Bichet on third down. Good safe throw to Conte. He's got the first down. Chris Graham makes the tackle, gain of 3. So a 12-yard gain and a 3-yard gain, and out of the hole come the Northwestern Wildcats to a first down. Jamison, Taylor, Johnson, Graham up front. And you're going to look at Crable in that linebacking core with Graham. They do not have their middle linebacker, John Thompson, today due to injury. Morgan Trent and the safeties really are the experience in that Michigan defense. Trent also with great experience, a senior out of San Diego, the cornerback spot. He's just a solid player all around. First down. Through the hands of the intended receiver, Simmons, incomplete. Stephen Simmons, the freshman, redshirt freshman out of St. Louis, good speed and quickness, and they were trying to isolate him right there.
Yeah, and they were trying to run a screenplay. They got what they wanted. Bichet doing a nice job letting Michigan's linemen get up the field. You got to have that catch. He had some running room to make people miss.
Second and 10. Michigan coming with the blitz. Jamar Adams. Conte breaking tackles. Nice run across the 30 to the 33, almost the 34-yard line. Gain of about 8 yards. Chris Graham made the stop for Michigan.
And that time you'll see Roberson there running through contact, keeping his legs moving. Actually, it's Conte. Good job of getting the shoulders down low. Watch the cutback here. Protect the football. And doesn't stop. He runs through the contact.
Third down and 2 yards to go, Northwestern. Good protection. Tough throw. Great catch by Ross Lane. Very close to the first down. Let's go to the studio. Dave Rebson. Dave?
I want to update you on Penn State and Illinois, Wayne, and this has been about as impressive a showing as you're going to see from the Fighting Illini. Rashard Mendenhall puts them on top 14-3 early.
I'll tell you what, Dave, Zucker's got him going down there at Illinois. That was a huge win for Illinois on the road at Indiana last week. And now to follow it up with this kind of a start against Penn State, I know there's a lot of time to play, but hey, somebody better start taking notice of Illinois. Bechet on first down. Oh, and he's got Ross Lane, who makes a tumbling catch inside Michigan territory, the 46-yard line of the Wolverines. Morgan Trent and Jamar Adams gave a lot of room on that one.
Well, it was a double move by Ross Lane. You saw the pump fake. Good job of screwing the defender in the ground and creating some space. Bechet, a little pump fake here, lets the wide receiver get up the field. Ross Lane, nice ball placement, letting him go down and make a play.
So Northwestern on the drive. Late going first quarter. The fake to Conte. Here comes Bechet, and he's roped down by Sean Crable, the linebacker. Loss of about 3. Back to the 49-yard line of Michigan. Second down upcoming for the Wildcats.
And Wayne, this type of play is going to be less effective for Bechet because he's not as good a foot athlete. He's more of a passer. You see Michigan close to the ball.
Let's talk a little bit about that as we go along here. Michigan has struggled with spread offense. That fact we know. Ron English, the defensive coordinator, admits it. But there's another caveat to that, and we'll talk about it and develop as we go along. Conte, nice hole up the middle. Great cutback. Conte to the 30, to the 25, 20. He might go all the way. Touchdown! 49-yard scamper. Omar Conte.
We talked to Coach Garrett McGee yesterday, offensive coordinator at Northwestern, and he said someone's got to step up and play big. Omar Conte doing his thing, making a number of guys miss and getting it to the house.
So Northwestern vaults back into the lead. Amago Villarreal with a point after. And Northwestern takes a 10-7 lead over Michigan with just under 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Remember what we told you about Omar Conte? He came in with Tyrell Sutton. He was a much more heralded recruit than Sutton. But Sutton's been the star of this team for the last couple of seasons. But Conte shows you what he can do.
Well, good running backs have good vision. They have good balance and good cutback ability. And you saw it on that play. Good job of following his blocks. Here it is here. Full speed, good cutback there. Leg drive and acceleration. Not going to be caught. It's exactly what Northwestern was looking for. Someone to step up, make that explosive type of play. That puts a shot of adrenaline into the entire team.
5 rushes, 67 yards, and a touchdown for Conte. But you can't say enough about the big people up front. On that drive, Chris, they started to carve a few holes in that Michigan front.
Absolutely. They were holding their blocks longer and getting to the second level, meaning getting on the linebackers of Michigan, not allow them to come downhill and bottle up the running backs.
Brandon Miner, principal deep back for Michigan. This is Miner. And he slips and falls across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Back to the studio. Let's check in with Dave Revson.
Dave Revson, our Big Ten Network studios, want to update you on the game between Indiana and Iowa. Kellen Lewis to James Hardy, 39-yard touchdown, his 5th TD in the last 3 games against Iowa, 7-0.
39 yards.
And Dave, I'll tell you something, that Iowa defense not easy to score on. Just ask the Badgers about that. So Indiana off to a good start on the road. They need an answer now after losing that home game to Illinois last week. First play from scrimmage on this particular drive. Mike Hart gets the carry. Mark Kane, Adam Cadella team up on the stop, and we've got an injured Wildcat down to the field. And it looks like the aforementioned Mark Kane.
Northwestern so far putting a lid on Mike Hart.
And we have an opportunity. We'll step away right here. Northwestern leading Michigan 10-7, 2:34 to go in this first quarter. Welcome back. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report coming up with Dave and the guys in the studio. All the scores and highlights. A busy day in the Big Ten. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report coming up. Michigan first down. Mallet in a quarterback, as we mentioned, his second consecutive drive. His pass knocked down by Corey Wooten, the defensive end of Northwestern. Wooten has been in on a couple of plays already today. Let's go back to the run by Omar Conte that gave Northwestern the lead.
Well, when we talked about Northwestern's linemen getting up the field, and we see it here, they locked on the blocks, and really there's no running room. But this is a good cutback. Look how long they're holding their blocks there. Those big guys are firing out, continuing to hold on to guys and giving Conte room to run.
Third down for Michigan. Mallet under pressure, sack. John Gill back near the 20-yard line. And Northwestern is feeling it on both sides of the ball.
Big series for the Cats. You talked about Northwestern. They knew they had to get upfield and get guys on the ball. Excellent job of just beating a guy one-on-one by Gill, getting low pad level and closing to the quarterback. One of the weaknesses of Northwestern defense has been their ability to sack the quarterback. Excellent job by John Gill.
Zoltan Mesko in punt formation. Loss of 7 on that sack. Boy, does Mesko hit a beautiful ball. Ward out across the 35-yard line of Northwestern, where it'll be 1st and 10. And a little extra pushing and shoving. Mark Moundros, the principal defender on the play. First down now for Northwestern.
We talked about one of the keys for Northwestern is being physical, and so far they come out, they've locked on their blocks, got wide receivers blocking down the field, doing exactly what they have to do.
And not only the run blocking, but the pass protection has been pretty good as well. They fake to Conte. Here comes Bechet. Who said he's not a foot athlete? 11 yards, first down, and a late hit. Penalty marker down, maybe for a late hit as the quarterback went into a slide, Chris.
Well, usually when Bechet runs, it's out of improv. This time it was a design draw play. Good awareness. He does have good feet, but you're not going to see a whole lot of draw plays. Good job of getting to the sticks, moving the chains.
And it looked like Brandon Engelman got there a little bit late, and they flag him for 15 yards tacked onto that play. And now Northwestern once again in Michigan territory with a 36-yard line.
And Wayne, what set that up was the fake on the inside dive play. They have respect after Conte just bust the long one. All of a sudden, linebackers are cheating up. Good job of recognizing that by Bechet.
On first down at the Michigan 36. Comeback route, Rashid Ward in traffic, got about 4, down to the 32-yard line, or just about to the 32. Second down upcoming. Harrison and Obi Eze on the stop for Michigan. Eze making the start in place of John Thompson at linebacker.
Well, really, the game within the game are the inside receivers of Northwestern matching up against the heavy-footed linebackers of Michigan. Can Michigan guys stay with them and cover these wide receivers across the field?
Offensive coordinator Garrett McGee looking on. This time Roberson gets his first call. The senior running back out of Pearland, Texas. Chris Cram makes the stop. Now, we started to talk about spread offense. Michigan has struggled with spread offense, but they have faced spread offenses in App State and Oregon with quarterbacks who were threats to run the football. Although Bechet just picked up 11 earlier in this drive, he's not really a running quarterback. That means it's a different type of approach, right?
Absolutely different. The first two teams that Michigan gave up all those points to, 73 points, were teams that had great quarterbacks, that had speed. They could get the ball outside, which is what you want to do in a spread attack. Michigan's job, try to keep it inside, Little different scheme.
And a little easier to do when you don't have that dual threat
Absolutely.
at quarterback. First quarter comes to a close in Evanston. So far, a surprise. Northwestern 10, the Wolverines 7. Northwestern on a 49-yard run by Omar Conte, leading 10-7 as we start the second quarter. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Tough throw there. Excellent breakup. Ross Lane denied by Jamar Adams. Back to Dave Rebson in the studio.
Dave Rebson, our Big Ten Network studios, Penn State and Illinois. The Nittany Lions getting a little bit closer. Anthony Morelli to Derek Williams. It's 14-10 in favor of Illinois.
Thank you, Dave. And I will remind you that this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Big Ten may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference. I think we're legal, Chris. That's what that does. Fourth down coming up. You know, we've got a timeout here called by Northwestern. They're kind of in that, do you try the field goal here? Do you go for it on fourth down? Take their first time out to talk it over here in the opening minute of the second quarter. Let's get down to the sidelines. Darryl, what do you have for us?
Well, you know, Wayne and Chris, when we spoke with the defensive guys yesterday from Northwestern, they talked about getting the momentum back. They said that they didn't have momentum in that game against Ohio State and that it was important in this game. Well, after that touchdown from Omar Conte, it certainly got this crowd going and got the bench going. They were very excited. And just so you guys know, Omar, who obviously doesn't start, this was his longest run in his career. His previous long was just 12 yards against the University of Ohio back in September 2005, guys.
All right, Dara, this will be a 49-yard field goal attempt. Amado Villarreal. He's long, 46. Does he have enough? Yes, he does. It is good. Amado Villarreal puts 3 more on the board for the home-standing Cats, and they increase their advantage to 6, 13-7 over Michigan. Concerned Michigan fans, Wolverines on the road for the first time this season, trailing by 6 early going second quarter. Holiday Inn Express scoring drive, 5 plays, 32 yards. Villarreal career long 49-yard field goal. Stefan Demos on the kickoff. Gets that left foot into it. Good height and depth. Through the hands of Brandon Minor, and Michigan will accept at the 20-yard line. U.S. Bank Big Ten standings. Take a look at the overall records of these teams. Still 4 unbeatens in Big Ten play. There's Illinois stirring around at 3-1. People wondering how good are the Illini. They may know a lot about the Illini after today taking on Penn State, a Penn State team that cannot be looking past Illinois coming off their loss at Michigan last week.
No, and what's surprising is Penn State has arguably one of the best run-stopping defenses, but again, Mendenhall's already getting off early.
They faced 2 pretty good ones. Mike Hart last week and Sharp Mendenhall this week. Michigan first down. Mallett at quarterback. Again, Henne started, played 1 series. Mike Hart's best run so far today, 11 yards to the 31-yard line. Let's get back to the studio and Dave Rebson.
Wayne, a surprise developing in Evanston, a surprise developing in Iowa City as well. Kellen Lewis rolling out here for Indiana, finding Ray Fisher for the touchdown. It is 14-0 Hoosiers.
Wow, Dave, I'll tell you, again, you got Illinois leading Penn State and Indiana winning at Iowa. My goodness. The downtroddens of recent years are rising up, are they not? Hart. He just keeps going. It looks like the play is going to end after maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain, and Mike Hart finds another 10 or 15 out of it. A gain there of 15 yards and a first down, but a holding call coming up against Michigan.
He has such great balance, like all great running backs do, and he has lower body strength, and you're not going to arm tackle. You'll see it here on the stretch play. He's able to get the ball outside here. Now Northwestern's got to force him back inside. That's where the help's coming from. Watch his leg drop. He just keeps those legs going. He doesn't stop when he gets the initial contact.
You know, when you watch him on tape, you don't get the feeling he's only 5'9". You know what I mean? He looks like, and as you watch him, he looks like a much bigger player than that, but he's not. And that's part of why it's so hard to wrap him up.
He just runs bigger.
First and long off the holding penalty. A little screen pass, and why not go to Mike Hart? And the Wildcats get population to Mike Hart. You know, that's a term for defense you're only going to get at Northwestern.
Oh,
We've got to get
it.
population to the ball.
That came right out of the library, but that's what they're doing. They're getting guys that are flowing to the football. Here, nice job of setting up the screenplay, but watch all the guys flying to the ball. And they are teeing off on Mike Hart, forcing him back inside. That's where the help is. So far, the defense is playing inspired.
A gain of about 4 on that play. Second down, still long. Mallet, good protection. Overshot Massey, the tight end. And Massey took a shot from Brad Phillips. That's what a safety's supposed to do to a tight end who's up in the air a little bit and the pass is overthrown.
That time,
give him a little love tap.
Yeah, a little love tap. And that time, Adrian Arrington was wide open. He just missed him. He's usually his third down receiver.
Well, it's third down now. Third down and 16. Michigan just 1 of 4 in third down conversions.
Watch Arrington inside.
He's at the bottom of your screen in the inside position. He's in the slot. Mallet looking for Arrington. There he is. And he's met and driven out of bounds short of the first down near the 36-yard line. Sheriff McManus with an explosive hit. And it's fourth down, Michigan.
And you know Arrington felt that one. We talked about it. Like to go to Arrington third down. They get the ball here on a crossing route. But this is how you finish a play. Look at him. Turn the helmet. Knock him outside. I think Arrington feels that. He gets the ball outside. Watch McManus close. Puts his helmet right on the ball.
Misko, another gorgeous punt. Rasheed Ward out across the 25-yard line. It'll be first down, Northwestern at the Wildcat 28 when we come back with the Cats on the lead by 6, second quarter.
This is the Big Ten Network.
Northwestern on the lead. Football fans, be sure to tune in before your school's game for the Big Ten Football Saturday pregame show powered by Suzuki. Get in-depth analysis and previews of each Big Ten matchup, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central on the Big Ten Network. Dave Rebson, Jerry DiNardo, Howard Griffith, they'll get you caught up to date on what's going on around the Big Ten. First down, Northwestern. Ball tip, caught by Rasheed Ward, who stayed right with it. And he's got yardage close to the first down, out near the 38-yard line. And in fact, he's got a first down to the 39. 12-yard gain. Brandon Harrison was there.
Well, this is the old tip drill. Good concentration by Rasheed Ward, keeping his eyes on the ball, able to haul that in. Michigan reads this in cut, makes a good break. Better play, though, by Rasheed Ward.
Brendan Harrison got a hand on it, tipped it up. First down, Northwestern. Bechet, little shovel pass. Not a whole lot there for Dunsmore. Sean Crable made the tackle. That's Trey Dunsmore, true freshman out of Lenexa, Kansas. He and Josh Rooks, another what they call superback or fullback type, are the only two true freshmen playing today for Northwestern. Now, on the other hand, Michigan is playing 12 true freshmen this season.
And they're getting battle tested.
Conte going the other way. Tried to follow the block of Dylan Theory and got what he could. Gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards.
This is where Michigan has to get off the field. Third and short. Their defensive front, you want to see those guys create penetration, get on the other side of the ball. And you see Crable's trying to fire up his guys. It was amazing watching the tape on them this week against Penn State. They were possessed. I mean, the defense they were playing with a chip. Michigan guys flying around. They want to build up that momentum.
Third and 2. Bechet Conte inside the Michigan 45 to the 43-yard line. First down, Northwestern. Back to Dave in the studio.
Wildcats looking good, Wayne, as is Illinois against Penn State. Juice Williams to Aurelius Ben. Look at the freshman who brought a kickback for a touchdown early, fighting his way into the end zone. 21-10, Illini.
Now that's a connection we're going to hear a lot of over the next several years. Aurelius Ben from Juice Williams. Conte gets about two right here. Running right at the Michigan defense. Jamison in on the stop for the Wolverines. You were mentioning last week, and we watched the same tape, and I agree with you. Michigan came out flying in that Penn State game. Knew they had to win, even at home. How hard is it to get that kind of an effort 2 weeks in a row?
Well, I think initially they came out here pretty fired up, but Northwestern's had some success with their spread attack. It can be frustrating, particularly to the linebacking core. Northwestern's right now dictating to Michigan instead of the other way around.
It's Conte in motion to the top of your screen. Bechet drills it on a quick move, and Dunsmore, did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Drake Dunsmore, whose dad played tight end for the Chicago Bears back in the early 80s on the reception, and Jamar Adams had the coverage. Let's take a look at it.
Jamar Adams with the tackle.
You got the super back making a super play.
Did he catch it?
He did a 5 on the play.
Take a look at it from this angle.
3rd and 2, Northwestern on the Michigan 36-yard line.
That's real close.
It's like it hit the ground. That's a close call.
And they're going to review it.
They should.
Previous play is reviewed.
And again, the replay official here is Gene Carabine. Steve Payman is the official you're hearing from down on the field.
Looks like right there, the ball is on the ground.
To get that hand under it, though, Chris, that's the thing. And is there enough video evidence to overturn this?
Close call.
Good camera angle right here.
Oh, that's a great picture of
Great
it.
picture.
You'll see it right there, a little red for you.
I think he's got that hand under the ball, Chris. He may let this one stand.
But you see you got a safety on the super back. That's a better matchup than a wide receiver on a safety. And you can just tell Michigan's linebackers, they're having to play in space a lot today. And we talked to Coach Carr. He said, we can't let the ball get outside. Northwestern's completing a lot of passes outside.
Yeah, outside. And the running game has been coming right at him between the tackles, at least starting there, Chris. The other thing about this, okay, who has success against spread offenses? And you take a look at, they're usually under, you and I were talking, undersized defense, a lot of quick guys on defense. Well, Michigan has good athletic ability on its defense, no question about it. But they've got guys that are size athletes more than they are small and quick.
You're exactly right. You know, historically, the linebackers for Michigan are big, thick, heavy-footed linebackers. They're not undersized. They don't flow to the ball as well. So they have a tougher time playing against a spread attack.
And where the spread really attacks is those linebackers, that second level. It forces that second level to cover, right?
Absolutely. You saw it last night with University of South Florida against West Virginia. Again, going up against the spread attack, they had better success because they had smaller people on defense, guys that can run much faster.
Lloyd Carr, and his team's in a dogfight here.
It's funny, we asked him, we said, well, what, against the spread team, you guys gave up 73 points. What do you got to do? He said, it's very simple. We got to keep the ball inside.
The ruling on the field is reversed. The pass is incomplete.
You could probably see that. And you were mentioning that you kind of thought he trapped it on the ground. I thought he got the hand underneath it, but they had enough evidence to overturn the call. What do you think?
Right there, I think the ball's on the ground.
I think you're right. Yep. That's what replay does. Supposed to correct that kind of a call. And that's a tough call to make on the field when it's happening live.
Northwestern on the Michigan 42-yard line.
Steve wants to add a few more seconds to that clock.
To 10 minutes. The clock continues to run when the pass is ruled incomplete.
So he got a few more seconds added.
Give some props to Bechet. Went for 120 so far, making good decisions with the ball. seems to be very comfortable in the pocket.
Facing 3rd and 8. Threw off the back foot. Peterman latches on. But Harrison, the nickel back, makes the tackle short of the first down. Gain of about 6, maybe 7 on that play.
Well, that was a good play by the nickel back, because that time it was a choice route by Peterman, meaning he can go either way on the defensive back. Nice job in space to wrap him up and get him on the ground. Make it 4th down for Northwestern.
Will Johnson applying the pressure there. And now instead of trying a field goal, they bring on Stephen Demos for the punt. Demos has placed 7 inside the 20 coming into today's game. That's what he'll try to do here in Michigan deep.
Interesting formation.
Got a little bit too much on it. Hit the wedge, should have hit the 60-degree wedge. 13-7 Wildcats, just over 9 minutes to go. First half in Evanston. Michigan trailing by 6, takes over offensively. Yield guard, defensive player of the week, brought to you by Monsanto. And he is Michigan's Jamar Adams, co-Big Ten defensive player of the week. 8 tackles, 5 pass breakups against Penn State. Preseason watch list for the Thorpe Award. And Jamar Adams, one of the more impressive safeties in the Big Ten. Mallet continues at quarterback. Again, if you joined us late, Chad Henne played the first series. Mike Hart has drawn a crowd whenever he's touched the football. Gets about 4 here.
Well, prior to that carry, Hart only had 21 yards rushing on 8 carries. So Northwestern's doing a good job of pinning him down. Look for play action pass here coming up soon by Michigan.
2nd down and 6. Hart running left. And it's stacked up pretty well. Hart able to spill across the 25 to the 26. Malcolm Arrington was there, among others, for Northwestern. It's never one that brings down Mike Hart. And again, they run primarily off the left side of that offensive line. Big number 77, Jake Long, and 57, Adam Krause. Face masking going on there by Arrington. Got in on that tackle.
Good penetration, though. Penetration by the D-line kills running plays.
3rd down, Michigan, about 4. Broke it up, incomplete. Intended for Arrington. The favored 3rd down receiver, David Orduba, was in on that play.
Well, this play was won in practice because he's sitting on this route here. They saw that before, and they were prepared for it. Great job by the coaches in Northwestern. Orduba coming in and making a play.
Cadella was also there. Another high floater of a punt. No fair catch. Rashid Ward brought down near the 40-yard line. Dara McIntosh is down near the Michigan bench. Dara, what's the atmosphere like down there?
Well, it's certainly not as joyous as it was last week for the Michigan Wolverines. As a matter of fact, after a few series, after Omar scored that touchdown, Ron English lit into his defense and just said, we've got to tackle, 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 tackle. He said it about 5 times. He stood up, he yelled, he says, you guys are not giving your all. He says, we don't want them to pass. We want them to run. We don't want any more passes. We want them to run. Get out there and do your jobs. So this atmosphere behind Michigan is not happy at all, guys.
Sounds a little tense, Dara. You're right. Boucher. Oh, nice adjustment. Oh, what a beautiful move that was by Ross Lane to beat Morgan Trent down the sidelines. But a great adjustment with the ball in the air. And a pickup of yardage to the 34-yard line of Michigan.
Absolutely, Wayne. This is what they call a fade stop. And a fade stop, you'll see it up top here, is you really want to throw that football on the back shoulder. It's hard for the defensive back to recover. Excellent job. Good ball placement by Boucher. Way to haul it in by Ross Lane.
26 yards downfield. First down for Northwestern. Conte. This time the Wolverines cut him off at the pass. Mid-portion of that Michigan defense was there. Taylor with the safety Adams blitzing in.
And dare I hit on it, Coach English is frustrated with his team defensively because they're letting Northwestern dictate. Northwestern's passing successfully, which opens up the run attack as well. This team right now looks a little flat on the defensive end. They need to create a spark.
On the Michigan 34.
2nd and 10. Bechet on his own. Got by Chris Graham. Lunges inside the 30. Close to the Michigan 32-yard line. On a gain of about 7 yards.
This is just a read option. He reads the play, doesn't want to go with the dive, pulls it in. But again, you got to tackle guys in space. That's what Coach English is getting frustrated and why Michigan's linebackers are getting frustrated. They're having a tough time tackling guys in space. When you play against a spread attack, a 2-yard play can become a 6-yard play if you cannot tackle in space.
And again, as we talked earlier, Bechet is not what you would call a foot athlete. Not like Zach Kustok or Brett Bazinet, 2 great quarterbacks here in recent times. Running the spread. 3rd down. Bechet intercepted. Morgan Trent on a pass attempt over Ross Lane. And Michigan takes over at the Wolverine 23.
That was an outstanding play by the left quarterback, Morgan Trent. Because this is a quick slant route. He's playing man-to-man coverage, hard to defend. Watch him jump inside. And he just beats the receiver to the route. And Bechet knows it. I mean, that was saran wrap coverage, nothing there. Excellent play by Morgan Trent.
And Chris, that pass is thrown by the quarterback on timing almost before the receiver makes his break, right?
Absolutely, and you like to see it low and away. That time it was way too high, but it was a good read and a good break by Morgan Trent.
Take a look at these numbers. My goodness. We have just over 6 minutes to go, first half. Mike Hart, little stop and go. And again, Northwestern gets population to the Michigan running back.
And you wonder if a play like that defensively by Trent will incite the offense of Michigan, get Hart going. You can see it in his eyes. He wants to continue to pound the football. He's waiting for his next big play.
Mike Hart came in just 139 yards away from the Michigan all-time rushing record. Trying to pass Anthony Thomas. 2nd down. Mallett. Long throw, 1st down. Arrington tiptoeing out of bounds at the Michigan 47-yard line. Into the coverage of McManus and Davey.
And Wayne, this is what this big kid's going to give you. This is about as long a throw as you can make on a football field. Look at this outcut. And this ball is thrown with zip. Watch how quickly it gets there. I mean, Mallett has an unbelievable arm. Good job putting the ball right on the numbers of Arrington.
Talking to everybody from Chad Henne all the way up to the head coach Lloyd Carr, this kid is going to be the next great Michigan quarterback. He has all the tools.
He does, all the measurables, and he's smart. He makes good decisions.
Going deep. Manningham is there. And the ball sails out of bounds. One official had incomplete. The other came up the line and marks it as a completion at the 32-yard line. It appeared he got a foot in bounds, and that's all you need on Saturdays.
It looked like he got it done, and this is what Manningham wants to do. Run that fade route. You see he hauls it in. He's got a foot there.
Michigan up to the line of scrimmage quickly. Replay will review. It's been a busy day so far for Gene Carabine, the replay official here.
He is getting his workout in.
You know, Chris, on that play, it looked like the official who was trailing the play marked no good, and the official coming up the line with a good view of it, right there, the official in your screen right there, he was calling it a catch all the way.
Well, you'll see it's very close, difficult to tell from that angle, but it looks like he has that foot in right there.
And then, Chris, the key is, does he have possession when with that foot down to the ground? That's
exactly
key.
Right.
Does he have possession? It didn't look to us like he was juggling it, but we didn't have the best look at it up here either.
Fade route, he gets on top of McManus.
This ball's sailing on him a bit. Can't tell. Here it is. We should be able to tell right here. The foot is down. There it is, the left foot. There's the ball.
Possession.
That's
Looks
possession.
like a catch to me.
Looked like a good call on the field. 31-yard pass play. Will it stand? We'll see.
Michigan's one of those teams that it's only a matter of time that they're going to try and make a quick strike down the field.
You've been talking about it, that they would get the ball down the field, and might have done it a little earlier with the senior Henney at the helm, but getting the freshman going, the out throw to Arrington on the previous play, then this one down the other side to Manningham. The freshman beginning to expand the field.
After review, the play stands as called.
That's the right call.
Yep, good call by officials. They're on it. Replay booth, run on top of it.
Michigan trailing by 6 just over 5 minutes ago, second quarter. And the Wolverines at the Northwestern 32-yard line.
First and 10 Michigan on the Northwestern 32-yard line.
Mallett out of Texarkana, Texas. First down. Fumble the snap. Manningham gets about 7 or 8 yards. Third week in a row that Mallett has dropped a snap from the left-handed center, Justin Boren, left-handed snapper. But he was able to recover in this one.
Well, this is just a bubble screen here. You see Manningham up top in the slot. You'd like to see the pressure get there. He fumbled the snap. But I like what Michigan's done today. They've worked the ball to Manningham. They've gotten him involved early, and he continues to execute.
Second and 3. Try to cut it back. Northwestern very disciplined in its control of the gaps defensively up front, and Hart has not been able to cut it back as he would like.
Well, you're right, Wayne. We talked about it yesterday to Adam Cadella, the linebacker of Northwestern, and he said today we have to have gap integrity, meaning that you can't flow too fast to the football. You have to be disciplined with your reads because Mike Hart loves to cut the football back.
Third down, Michigan. Third and 5. Arrington in motion. Mallett looking that way. Mallett trying to buy some time. Gets it away. Arrington, first down. Just outside the 16-yard line of Northwestern. Brad Phillips had the coverage. Corey Wilton was all over the quarterback. The strength of the 6'7" at 252-pound quarterback.
Oh, clearly. When you're this big and physical, you have a defensive lineman that you're able to shrug off and still put the ball on the rope. Again, finding his favorite target. You'll see the pocket collapse. He's athletic enough to feel it and to slide outside and deliver a strike. Good play by the young quarterback, and he's juiced up. Better believe he likes it.
6'7", 252, and Wilton is 6'7", about 280, so he's not that much bigger than the quarterback. A low throw here. Did he trap it? They're saying incomplete.
They're keeping Northwestern off balance. You're seeing throws to the right, throws to the left, a quick flurry, bubble screens, working the outcut. Good job, Mike DeBoer, offensive coordinator, mixing up the play selection.
Saw Chad Henney and Nick Sheridan, two quarterbacks on the sideline, signaling the plays. One's right, the other's wrong. Mallett lots of time through the hands of his intended receiver, incomplete. The tight end Carson Butler, right through his hands. Sherrick McManus came up from behind defensively.
I don't really like this play call. I mean, that time you got a tight end that's flexed outside, working against a very good corner from Northwestern. I don't think that's the advantage you want. Clearly, he should have caught the ball, but I don't like the play call. I'd rather you throw it inside to one of your receivers who put their hands on the balls earlier today.
Michigan only 1 of 6 on third down conversions. Third and 10. They've got a blitz on. Mallett's going to keep it. Mallett brought down short of the first down, but did get to the Northwestern 10. John Gill, the defensive lineman, recovered to meet him on the play.
When you can force Mallett to have to move his feet and to scramble defensively for Northwestern, it's really a win because he doesn't move that well. See, he has space, but watch how quickly John Gill closes. That's a D lineman flying to the football. Northwestern got exactly what they wanted that time.
Line of scrimmage, the 9-yard line of Northwestern. It is fourth down, Michigan, and there's some debate here as to whether the Wolverines want to go for it. It's 4th down, and again, almost 3 yards to go. And a timeout taken by Michigan.
Just kick the field goal here, my opinion.
If you don't kick the field goal here, you are saying to that defense, we don't respect you, and we're going to motor this thing in on 4th and 3.
No question. But we're going to do it at your house, too. I think Coach Carr's got to put those points on the board. They miss out here. It's a momentum killer.
Well, we want to welcome viewers watching the Big Ten Network today on RCN and Wide Open West Systems. I hope all of you watching the Big Ten Network for the first time today in Chicago and the rest of Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Pennsylvania enjoy today's games. Glad to have you all on board. RCN and Wide Open West. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh. 4th down, and it's a healthy 3 yards to go for Michigan here. At the Northwestern 9-yard line, Michigan trailing 13-7. And they're sending the field goal unit on.
Call by Coach Carr, as we said, if they missed out here, momentum could be shot.
The other thing is Coach Carr knows full well, Jason Gingell has struggled. Just 3 of 7 of the field goal department coming into this afternoon's game. Mesko, the punter, will hold. 26-yard field goal attempt. No goal.
Maybe that's why he had the long contemplation on whether to go for it. Gingell has shown in the past that he will push it just like he did there.
Wide right.
Good snap, good hole. He just misdirects this thing.
Coach Carr on the sidelines. One thing he said to us earlier this week, we have got to get the field goal situation fixed. We've got to get that thing turned around. He said Jason Gingell is a good kicker. He had 2 blocks in the opening game, hit the uprights on another couple of shots.
Can't leave points on the field.
Nope. Conte, and they root him out. Loss of 2. Sean Crable in on that play. He was number 2. One of the leaders of this defense, 5th-year senior out of Massillon, Ohio.
Oh, he's special now. He leads the Big Ten in tackles for loss, so you know he gets on the other side of the ball. And he's one of those hybrid type guys, Wayne. He can play with his hand on the ground. He can play in space. And when he hits you, you go to the ground.
Well, you know, we talked about, again, Michigan on 4th and 3 there at the 9-yard line of Northwestern. And if they went for it, maybe that sends a message to the Northwestern defense. We don't respect you. But the other factor, Crable jumping off sides, penalty markers down. The other factor, as we saw just a moment ago, shaky field goal situation. Even from 26 yards, you figure that's a chip shot.
Offside defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remain 2nd down.
Just as I hyped up Crable, gets a little anxious coming off the edge that time.
But, you know, again, you see, when you get into conference play, a situation like that, Lloyd knows that as well as anybody, that field goal could make the difference in a ball game down the stretch. And Michigan's really got to think about it now. Sure. I mean, you might have to go for it in situations you normally wouldn't. They empty the shotgun for Bechet. Good throw, good catch. Ross Lane, 1st down, 31-yard line. 8-yard pickup, Brandon Harrison. Tough play to cover.
Well, and for Michigan, they got a better matchup here. You got Harrison, who's a nickelback, working against a receiver instead of the linebacker, but you can't let Lane get inside. It's an easy throw for the quarterback. Good job of executing.
2-minute offense, 2 timeouts left for each side here. Bechet taking a shot deep. Thompson caught it. And he's got it. 1st down inside the Michigan 45 on the 42-yard line. Donovan Warren, the man they beat. But that coverage was pretty darn good. Great throw, great catch.
Yeah, it was a great coverage, even better catch. So look at the adjustment and the wherewithal to get the foot down, dot the I.
Gain of 27 on the play.
Thompson, beautiful catch.
On the Michigan 42-yard line.
26-yard play.
Frustration continuing to boil over for Michigan and Coach Carr.
Timeout taken by Michigan is the preliminary indication.
Timeout.
A minute 23 to go in the half. Michigan down to 1 timeout remaining. Northwestern has 2.
There's a correction for the officials' timeout. Michigan is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a catch. Inbound.
Michigan challenge.
Why not? The refs have gotten so much work at it today, but
Chris, don't you want to save that for the second half usually? I mean, you only get one, whether you're right or wrong.
well, Lloyd Carr, you can tell right there in his body language that he is just completely becoming unglued with his team and their failure to make plays.
Kim Thompson, nice catch.
Give Northwestern credit, though. They've spread the ball out pretty well. I mean, you see Kim Thompson coming in, making a catch. Peterman's made a couple grabs. Of course, Rasheed Ward with the big hit earlier. Ross Lane's been busy today. So they're spreading the ball out. They're not concentrating on one receiver, making Michigan's challenge even greater.
Another look at it. Yeah, he's in.
This is a young cornerback, Donovan Warren, who, in talking to the coaches, they light up when they mention this kid. He plays with moxie. He's a young guy, but he has some guts. But you expect Northwestern to make him prove himself today.
True freshman out of Long Beach, California. Just a great throw, and then Thompson able to gather it in. He's in play. You know, we were talking to Garrett McGee, the offensive coordinator of Northwestern, and kind of hinting at, well, you're going to go with the freshman, of course, aren't you? I mean, Morgan Trent's a senior out there, so you're going to go after the freshman. He says, hey, listen, I tried to recruit that freshman. I know all about that kid. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he went under the hood. He knows that Donovan can play football, but again, you expect Northwestern to go after him and make him step up and make the play. Michigan's got to come out here and play their football, though. They need to bring that swagger back. They had some momentum rolling. Look at those guys. That's when you get in the huddle and say,
On the field stand.
And again, 4th replay, Chris, and they're right again. As they should.
With that second timeout.
You know, Chris, we've talked so much about Michigan and coming off the big win over Penn State. How about Northwestern trying to rebound from 58-7 on the wrong side at Ohio State? A pretty good effort here. Well, the Wildcats have responded.
And we talked to Coach Fitzgerald, and that's exactly what he said. They have to respond. They said they had a great week of practice. They felt very confident. And I talked to the strength coach earlier, Larry Littleton. He said when they got off the bus today, they had that look in their eye.
Wanted the screen to Dunsmore. Didn't have the angle to make that throw. 2nd and 10 at the Michigan 42-yard line for Northwestern. Again, 2 timeouts remaining for Northwestern, and Michigan now down to 1.
2nd and 10 Northwestern on the Michigan 42-yard line.
Michigan has used its coach's challenge.
As in space, Lloyd Carr looking to see who's going to make the next big play for his defense. 4 wide here.
2nd and 10. Bechet. Peterman. Close to the first down. Just short, it appears, at the 32-yard line, gain of 9. Brandon Harrison made the stop.
And you just wonder that after facing 2 traditional types of offenses, whether Michigan's fully prepared. They seem to have a tough time with the spacing, the alignment, and closing on Northwestern's interior receivers.
Bechet basically threw that one away in the general direction of Kim Thompson. Sean Crable bearing down on the quarterback. Chris, I go back to what you said earlier. You know, the point we made is that when you look at Michigan defensively, they are built to stop the traditional I-back, 2-back offenses. You know, they've got a little more trouble in space against these spread offenses. Even one today where the quarterback is not necessarily a foot athlete, although he's made some plays with his feet here today.
Well, they have big linebackers that are take-on linebackers, meaning they'd rather be taken on the run play. Tougher for them to get out and get in space.
This is Omar Conte. First down to the 16-yard line at Michigan. Under a minute to go in this first half. 15-yard gain.
Shea, nice read here. Good job feeling the pressure. Nice touch on the ball to Conte. Western playing with a lot of confidence.
And they messed up the handoff. Bechet wanted to hand it off to Conte. And I'm not sure if he wanted to hand it off or pull it back, but they collided, and a loss of almost 5 yards on that play. Tim Jamison was there defensively for Michigan, and a timeout taken by Northwestern. Second timeout by the Wildcats.
And the other thing is when you play against a spread, because you're in so much space and you're focused so much on making tackles and having good technique, it can tire you out as a defense and as an individual. I mean, these guys are covering a lot of ground. It's interesting to see these guys if they can hang in there.
Quarter, Illinois 21.
Lloyd Carr knew it would be tough
17.
this week after Penn State. Well, it's one thing to get up for Penn State. It's another thing to go on the road. You know, that first road game, Chris, is always an issue. Coaches tell me all the time. You know, that first road game, you're not quite sure how your kids are going to come out. This is Michigan's first road game, the 5th week of the season, second conference week.
Well, and we talked to Coach Carr about that. He said that, hey, we still don't know what the identity of our team is. We're still figuring that out. He hoped to put that period at the end of the sentence today. So far, he's still unsure.
Northwestern, 8 plays, 59 yards on this drive, facing second and long. Bechet, tight pocket. Ward, the intended receiver, pretty well covered by Donovan Warren. Third down and long coming up Northwestern. 26 seconds left on the clock. Northwestern 3 of 8 on third downs.
Shay's good from the neck up. He makes good decisions. He's smart with the football.
Yeah, he kind of threw that one away.
Yeah.
He didn't have anything.
And with the spread, you got to make those decisions quickly.
Bechet on his own. Got a good block. Bechet down inside the 10 to the 9. Brandon Engelman made the tackle. 12-yard run. And
he's got a little wiggle to his game.
They're going to wind the clock, Chris, down to 4 seconds. Stop it. Bring the field goal unit on. Stark contrast, one kicking game to the other. Villarreal hit a 49-yard field goal earlier. Jason Gingil missed a 26-yard chip shot in this second quarter.
Talked about Bechet, and one of the things that his offensive coordinator said is that he's just seeing the field so clearly right now. And you can tell he's confident in what they're doing. He's getting the ball to check downs. He's checking out of plays, getting into the right situations for Northwestern. A very confident quarterback.
I got to ask you, that last scamper there, is that, did they sort of design that a little bit or not? Is that a run-up pass option?
That was a design call. I mean, you could tell right away he made a quick decision. He tucked it in, and he's got a little wiggle. I mean, he's tough to bring down in space.
I mean, he's not Bazinet and Kustak moving like that, but he does have some escapability about him, and he's a smart kid, as you pointed out. Villarreal will try a 27-yard field goal. Down the boulevard as time expires in this first half. The Northwestern Wildcats, coming off a 58-7 loss in Columbus a week ago, lead the Wolverines 16-7 at halftime. Let's go down to Darrell.
Coach, you talked about how your team needed to get an early start and get on the board early. How is your team able to halt this Michigan offense?
Well, what we're doing right now is executing the call, playing together as one heartbeat. That gives you an opportunity to stop the run when he's swarming the way we're doing right now. It's a long football game. We've got a lot of adjustments to make. We left a lot of plays out there on the field, and we'll get those fixed here at halftime.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Wayne.
Thank you very much, Dara McIntosh. Big first half for Northwestern. They head to the locker room with the lead. Coming up, Dave Redson and the gang with the halftime show after these messages. Back at Northwestern, Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh. The Wildcats looking to pull an upset here at home, leading Michigan 16-7. Abato Villarreal with field goals of 27, 49, and 27 yards, and a 49-yard touchdown run by Omar Conte have the Wildcats on the lead. Meanwhile, Michigan running back Mike Hart, the All-America, on the verge of becoming Michigan's all-time leading rusher, just 30 yards on 12 carries in that first half, an average of 2.5 yards per pop, and a long gain of 11 yards. In the quarterback situation, Chad Henne played the first series, hit 5 of 7 passes, including a touchdown, and we have not seen him since. Ryan Mallett, 5 of 11 passing for 67 yards. He's been sacked once. And again, it'll be interesting to see if Henne might come out and play for Michigan in the second half here this afternoon. The Northwestern band performing on a beautiful late September afternoon in Evanston with the home forces, the purple, leading the Big Blue of Michigan 16-7 here at Northwestern. Let's head back to the studio and Dave Revsky.
Continuing on here on Big Ten Football Saturday and the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Dave Revsky, Jerry DiNardo, and Howard Griffith. Big upset brewing potentially in Evanston. That's not the only place we've got potential upsets on what's been a wild first half of games so far throughout the Big Ten. Let's check it out. We'll start you off in Champaign, Penn State, and Illinois. The last time Joe Pa's team was at Memorial Stadium 2 years ago, they scored 56 points in the first half. Little bit different story in this one. First quarter, Nittany Lions out top 3-0. Aurelius Ben says not anymore. He doesn't literally say it. He says it with his actions. A 90-yard kickoff return. It's 7-3 Fighting Illini. Now more from the Illini, 14-10, and Ben is just tough.
He's an explosive player. He has really made a difference in their offense in a short time.
21-10 Illinois. It's 21-17 at the half.
I think the story in this game is Juice Williams is particularly in third down, being able to convert third and long. He'll have to do it in the second half of this game as well.
Mendenhall always keeps you in the game, 28 yards already.
He has the other touchdown for Illinois. Notre Dame and Purdue. This is really the only one that has gone according to the script so far. Corey Sheets going for 20 yards for the Boilers. He had 100 in the first half. Sheets taking it in. It's 10-0 in favor of Purdue. Now second quarter, Curtis Painter, Dorian Bryant. They've done that before. 20-0 in favor of the Boilers. Painter's thrown for $190. Also has been picked off for just the second time all year.
I think Sheets rushing for 100 yards in the first half of the game is impressive.
Well, Painter has to be able to correct the interception situation so he doesn't head down the wrong road.
That's about all Purdue has to worry about as they are having their way with Notre Dame. Indiana and Iowa, this one has been a surprise early. Kellen Lewis, James Hardy, this is his 5th touchdown in 3 games against the Hawkeyes. 7-0 Indiana. And I'll tell you, when things are going your way, well, they're going your way. Second quarter, it's 14-0. Josiah Sears fumbles the football, but look who picks it up. Kellen Lewis, the quarterback, and he is gone. 70 yards for the touchdown. And the flip, little unsportsmanlike to finish it off, but 21-0 Hoosiers.
You like the fact that your quarterback is always involved in the game, just not standing around watching the other guys do their job. Because he was hustling, he was able to pick that ball up and run it in for a touchdown.
Goes down as return yards, not offensive yards. Either way, though, 21-0 now. Check this out. Now goes around, comes around. Jake Christensen tipped in the air, and Trey Strauss as time expires. In the first half, the Hawkeyes get a little momentum heading into the locker room. 21-7, though, they are down to IU.
Now, we've known that Iowa has pass game struggles, but only to have 61 yards in the first half, that's a problem.
Well, this defense is starting to concern me, to say the least.
Let's check out the game you're watching, Michigan and Northwestern. Chad Henne getting the start for the Wolverines. Been out with that injury. You see him wearing the brace. It's Mario Manningham here. And Manningham takes it in for the TD. 7-3 Michigan. Now, Henne did not play much in this first half. It's been mostly the freshman Ryan Mallett. Been mostly C.J. Bechet for Northwestern, but Omar Conte here finds a hole, and the Wildcats getting something done on the ground. Even without Tyrell Sutton in their 49-yard touchdown. 10-3 Wildcats. They got 3 field goals in the first half. The Wildcats lead at 16-7 at the break.
Well, the fact that Northwestern has rushed for 93 yards the first half, which for them is a lot of yards and a half of football, I think is impressive. But more impressive is their defense. I mean, not the numbers. Now, they've held Michigan to 150-something yards, but the way they're flying around the field is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's outstanding. But Bechet is truly the story. He puts you in situations, gives your team an opportunity to win, and he's doing it again. And now he has a rushing game to complement that. Better watch out.
A real trademark of this team, to a large extent under Randy Walker, and it's carried over under Pat Fitzgerald, is no matter how bad things get, they seem to bounce back. They just got humiliated 2 weeks in a row by Duke and Ohio State for playing a very impressive first half. See how it goes in the second half at Evanston. We'll see you after the game for the post-game report.
Halftime at Ryan Field in Evanston. The Northwestern Wildcats play on the lead 16-7 over the Michigan Wolverines. Hi, everybody. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh is joining us on the sidelines. We'll hear from her a little bit later on. But a first half that was very impressive. These two teams coming off big games one way or the other. Michigan with a huge win over Penn State at home last week. Meanwhile, Northwestern a huge loss at Ohio State, and the Wildcats have come out much the better.
Well, they came out inspired. They moved the ball right down the field earlier, capping it off with a field goal. Michigan struck back, though, getting the ball to Manningham out on one-on-one coverage, getting to the end zone. See them celebrating, but then Northwestern going toe-to-toe today. Omar Conte saying he's that next big play guy, able to stretch this one out, getting to the end zone. Excellent shiftiness and cutting back, finds the paint. And then Northwestern again, right before half, putting this one right down the heart. Valario, Northwestern coming out inspired today. And one more time for good measure. These guys have got it cranked up today, Wayne.
Let's take a look at the Polaris first half stats, and you're going to see a lot of offense on the side of Northwestern. But take a look at what they've been able to do defensively, especially against Michigan's run game.
Well, they've made Michigan heartless. They've taken Mike Hart out of the game. He's rushed for 30 yards. He can't get out on the perimeter. They're keeping him boxed in, so they're getting exactly what they want defensively, taking Hart out of the game, not giving up the explosive plays like we talked about in the open. So right now they're doing exactly what they wanted to do.
Meanwhile, Northwestern has possessed the football over 3 minutes longer than Michigan in the first half. Second half is coming up. The Wolverines trailing on the road 16-7. We'll be back. Big Ten Network Football is brought to you by Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing. By Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year. Vote now at coachoftheyear.com. And by Yield Guard BT Triple, the yield protection system. Ryan Field, Evanston, Illinois, on the shores of Lake Michigan. Wayne Larrabee, along with Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh down to the sidelines. Michigan will accept the football to start the third quarter. And we'll see what adjustments were made at halftime by both sides. And you know that Lloyd Carr was busy.
He's busy giving his guys an earful. Offensively, defensively. They've been sleepwalking a bit. See if they can come out here and get it started out of the chute.
And if you're Northwestern, you know you're going to take a big shot from Michigan in the second half. There's no doubt about that. Twin safeties back deep to receive. Harrison and Minor back deep. Demos the kickoff. To Minor. About 2 yards deep. To the 5-10. Short side 15-20. Angled out of bounds. Good hit at the 22-yard line. Ben Rotroff made the hit.
Michigan's got to come out, Wayne, and establish that running game. Get Mike Hart loose. Get him out on the perimeter. Interesting to see if they're going to go back behind Jake Long. All-American, all-everything left tackle. That guy's got to be a factor if Michigan's going to get back in this game.
The other question at halftime was how soon would they go back to Chad Henne? As soon as right now, the start of the third quarter. Henne played only the opening series and led Michigan to a quick touchdown. Manningham out of bounds across the 35 near the 37-yard line of Michigan. It is a gain of 14 yards. In the first half, Chad Henne 5 of 7, 48 yards and a touchdown. Ryan Mallett 5 of 11 passing.
He was very efficient in that first drive. Fluid. Didn't look like he was having any mobility problems with his knee. See if he can keep up that efficiency.
First and 10. Manningham in motion. Henne. Manningham. First down, close to the midfield marker. He's shoved back near the 48-yard line, a gain of about 11 yards.
You know, Wayne, for Northwestern's defense, it really doesn't matter which quarterback's in particularly, because these guys are cut from the same cloth. They're big physical guys that have strong arms, can make all the throws, and they're going to stand tall in the pocket.
Except that one has a lot more experience than the other. This one has a lot of experience. He's a senior.
No question, but in terms of making the reads and running the offense for Northwestern's defense, it's very similar.
Wolverines knocking on the Wildcats' territorial door. Blitz coming. Henny steps up against it, takes a shot deep down the field. McManus and Manningham battle through, and it's incomplete. A great battle. Eric McManus and Mario Manningham.
First off, you get good pressure up front by Northwestern, and this is what Michigan wants to do. Air it out, throw the ball down the field, get it all back. This is outstanding coverage, though, by Sherrick McManus, almost pulling it in. That time, Manningham ran an out and up route. McManus didn't bite. Good job of high-pointing the football and keeping it away from Super Mario.
2nd and 10, Michigan, 49-yard line, Wolverine territory. Mike Hart, big hole, left side. Would not go down on the shirt tackle and gets about 9 yards inside Northwestern territory to the 47-yard line.
The thing that I love about Mike Hart is you will not arm tackle him. You see a great example of it right here. You can't hold on to his jersey. No, he's too strong. Keeps his legs going. You better get other guys to the ball to help get him on the ground.
Malcolm Arrington did a good job of playing off his block, but couldn't get any more than a handful of shirt off of Mike Hart. And now it's 3rd and short, Michigan. Andros, the fullback. Mike Hart going that way. Penalty flags down. Ball start.
For the snap.
Ball start, offense, number 77. That's a 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Jake Long getting a quick start there. 4th penalty on Michigan.
It's been interesting, though. Michigan's come out firing on all cylinders, and they're running behind Jake Long. You know, they started the game running to the right, which is a bit of an anomaly for them.
47-yard line.
Probably trying to out-game plan Northwestern, but they're going back to their bread and butter and what they do best, and that's follow number 77, Jake Long.
Michigan 2 of 8 on 3rd downs. Massey in motion. Henny. Matthews. 1st down, Michigan. 38-yard line of Northwestern. Deontay Battle made the stop.
Good job of spreading Northwestern out, giving them a little dose of their own medicine, and just working an underneath cut here to Matthews, working against the linebacker. Got a cornerback sitting there waiting for him in the hole. Good delivery by Henny. Way to move the sticks.
Gain of a little bit more than 9 yards. Michigan continues on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Mike Hart. And again, drew quite a crowd. Quentin Davey coming in from the strong side linebacker spot, got a hand on him, and that slowed him up, and then the big guys up front.
Yeah, they rushed Davey off the edge, Wayne, to get some heat in the backfield. Northwestern trying to be sure that Mike Hart can't cut the ball back. Again, utilizing their gap integrity.
They've done a great job of eliminating the cutback primarily in this game. Manningham wide to the top of your screen. Henny broken up, incomplete. That was linebacker coverage that time on Manningham. Pretty good coverage by Quentin Davey.
Well, good coverage and good read. He just sniffs this out right away. I mean, he's all over this outcut. Couldn't have played it better. Uses that inside arm, or the long arm as we call it. Nice play by that redshirt freshman, Quentin Davey.
Michigan facing another 3rd down on this opening drive of the 2nd half. Chad Henne, the senior, back in at quarterback. Slot at the top of the screen. Massey in motion to the bottom. Blitz coming. They picked it up well. Pass off the mark, incomplete. Matthews, the intended receiver. They did a zone blitz, and that was Big John Gill downfield in space of the wide receiver.
And he looked like a defensive back there running around covering. How about that for athleticism?
I would say he looked like a defensive back.
He was chasing in pursuit. But I think the thing to note there, Wayne, is that Northwestern's giving Michigan a lot to think about.
Yes.
A lot of different looks. They're throwing variety of blitz plays, dropping different guys in coverage. Henny's getting a lot of looks to anticipate.
Zoltan Mesko in punt formation once again hangs this one high. Fair catch signal is made, and the catch is completed by Rasheed Ward just short of the 9-yard line of Northwestern. First salvo handled by the Wildcats from Michigan to start the third quarter. Northwestern when we come back. Northwestern leading 16-7, much to the concern of those fans here at Ryan Field from Michigan. And Cargill passing combinations last week against Penn State. Ryan Mallett found Mario Manningham 6 times for 61 yards in the victory over Penn State. Penn State's got their hands full down in Champaign today with the Fighting Illini. Worst field position to start a drive for Northwestern. Omar Conte bounces to the outside. Oh, and he was a shoestring tackle away from gaining a whole lot more than 10 yards. Pickup of 11 to the 20-yard line. Obi Eze made the tackle.
Wayne, they go again to that read option, but a nice cut. Way to find the lane by Conte, and he's running with toughness. He's not allowing one guy to bring him down. Good bounce play, finding the perimeter.
He came into today's game with just 49 net yards on 24 rushing attempts. He got twice that on a touchdown run in the first half. And again, nice hold, good cut by Conte. Again, they run between the tackles against this Michigan defense that is concentrating, as you mentioned, Chris, so much on the outside against the spread that there might be some lanes inside, and Northwestern has done some business in between the tackles.
Absolutely. A lot of times you can win plays by alignment, just spacing people out. There are creases there, and right now Northwestern's exploiting it.
And they're going without a huddle. Second down. Conte 11 carries, 89 rushing yards. Little option. Here comes Conte running downhill. Got the first down. Engelman makes the tackle. First and 10 for the Northwestern Wildcats on a gain of about 10 yards.
Again, nice play call by Coach McGee. Running an option. Good read by Bechet. He felt the defensive end collapsing, so he pitches it out to Conte. Good call, good execution.
Northwestern changes up on personnel. Bechet calling the play at the line. Roberson in at the running back spot next to Bechet. Blitz coming. Again, the pitch. Roberson trying to get around the end. They went to that well.
Brandon Roberson, the ball carrier.
After the last success they had, Chris Graham responding for Michigan. He was on it all the way.
Yeah, and that time, good play call by Coach Ron English of Michigan. That time he's manufacturing pressure. He's bringing the blitz. Good job getting Graham out in space.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11 Northwestern.
I expect Michigan to continue to bring the heat on Bechet. Bechet looks too comfortable back there in the pocket. He's scanning the field, getting exactly what he wants. They need to make him unnerved back there, bring the fire.
Loss of 2 on the previous play, 2nd and 12. Oh, nice hold there. Roberson, first down on the cross. 40 to the 45-yard line of Northwestern on a gain of 12 yards. Engelman made the stop along with Donovan Warren, getting a gain of 14 on that play.
And really with Northwestern, it's been running back by committee. We saw what Conte's done. Brandon Roberson coming in, doing his thing, running hard, moving the sticks.
First down, Northwestern. This is their opening possession offensively of the third quarter. Bechet had to get rid of it and was able to throw it out of play. Late pressure coming from Adam Patterson on defensive end, but Bechet initially had plenty of time. Pass protection's been pretty sound for Northwestern here today, to say the least.
Yeah, they've been holding up, giving Bechet the time he needs to execute. That time, though, good coverage down the field by Michigan. The young defensive back, Donovan Warren, was all over Kim Thompson that play.
2nd and 10. Football just across the 45 of Northwestern. Conte rejoins Bechet in the backfield. Bechet under pressure immediately. And he escapes out of bounds. Lost a couple of yards back to the 43-yard line. Ronaldo Seguis forced him out.
See, this isn't what he does not want to do, run right away. I mean, he good job of feeling the pressure, but he's not looking to run right away. He's more of a guy that he needs to see the lane develop and then take advantage of it. That time, Michigan did a nice job flushing him out of the pocket.
On their own 43.
Northwestern 3 of 9 on third down conversions, and there's a look at the numbers posted by Bechet. Facing 3rd and 12. over the middle, turned around his receiver, incomplete. And he had him wide open.
Oh, it was a lot of carpet there. Good job on the crossing route. Shanks was wide open. The ball was a little bit behind him, though.
Intended for Nathan
like to see
Shanks.
Bechet. He's got the time. He throws it off his back foot.
Maybe that was the problem.
Yep. Doesn't
4th
set
and 12
up.
Northwestern
A missed opportunity there
on their own 43.
by the Cats.
And punt formation.
Bechet on the sidelines. Demos in punt formation. They've been trying directional kicking all day, and this one backs up near the 23-yard line out of bounds. It'll be first down for Michigan from there. Each side has had one offensive possession here in the third. Northwestern still leading 16-7. Along with Dara McIntosh and Chris Martin, Wayne Larrabee, let's revisit the Northwestern keys to the game, brought to you by Suzuki. Chris?
Well, we talked about it earlier when we said they had to be physical, and they did just that, particularly on the interior line play on both sides of the ball. They've been getting penetration, and that's what's been helping them so far.
For Michigan?
For Michigan, this is what it's been all about, is boxing up the spread, and they've had a tough time doing that against Northwestern.
And he remains in at quarterback. Hart trying to go wide, looking to cut it back, and now he's got some running room. Hit from behind, and then driven down. Boy, the pursuit relentless. And over to make the tackle, Deontay battled, but it was Phillips, the safety, who came in there, Brad Phillips, that kind of blew up that play.
Well, and this is where Mike Hart can really hurt you. It's his ability to find the cutback and then to hit it. I mean, that time Northwestern was flowing to the football. He's shifty enough that he can cut it back against the grain and get out the back door.
Mike Hart hasn't been able to break anything of significance yet today. Gain of 2 on the previous play. Henne got a man open. Mario Manningham wide open. It looked like they had Quentin Davey on him on coverage, and Sherrick McManus playing almost like a safety. The quarterback almost playing like a safety over the top.
But what's most intriguing, Wayne, is again, Henne now showing you how strong his arm is. Again, these are long throws. Look how quickly the ball gets there with zip. We saw it earlier with Mallet on the outcut by Manningham. You see it there again with Henne. They have arm strength. They can make all the throws, particularly down the field.
11-yard gain to a first down. Empty backfield. Manningham in motion, a little bubble screen. Manningham able to hesitate, picked up a block, and gets across the 40 before being decked by Adam Cadella, who picked him up and threw him down. As it is, a pickup of about 6 yards.
Talked to Cadella yesterday, and he's really the heart and soul of the defense. You know, you'll see him flowing to the football. He has a good football IQ. He knows where the ball is going, and he's a good tackler in space.
Craig Matthews, nice block, really sustained on the corner there, and almost sprung Manningham for a big play. Second down and about 4. Hart picking his way. What a nice run by Mike Hart inside the 50 down to the 41-yard line of Northwestern. Deontay Battle brought him down. Biggest run of the day for Mike Hart, 17 yards.
Wayne, you see 3 great things here. His ability to make people miss, to cut it back, but watch him switch the ball here. Smart football by Mike Hart, and the strength to stiff arm the cornerback coming up. Again, nice cut back there. Here's the vision. Now watch him switch the ball. He's thinking on the move, and watch him finish the run. Deontay Battle goes down to the ground quickly.
You can count the number of times he's fumbled on one hand in his entire career.
Unbelievable.
Arrington wide open. Inside the 20 to the 16-yard line of Northwestern. Battle and McPherson respond. A strike thrown by Chad Henne, and Michigan picks up 24.
That's just pitch and catch. That's too easy. See, Arrington's running naked. There was nobody by him. Good job of finding him. Henne holding off the safety and then coming back to Arrington, delivering a strike.
First down, Michigan roaring on this drive. Hart met in the hole and driven down by Mike Denard, the outside linebacker, the weak side linebacker. Pick up of a couple of yards.
Player down, Wayne.
Looks like Mike Massey down on
Player
the
receiving
field.
assistant for Michigan is Mike Massey.
And he needs some attention. This has been a hard-hitting game. The one thing that impressed everyone up here in the press box at halftime was the way Northwestern came out and hit this afternoon. They knew they'd have to be physical with Michigan, and they've been so far. We've got a break. We'll be back after these messages. 16-7 Wildcats. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh back in Evanston. Michigan second down. They fake to Hart. They come the other way. Northwestern stayed with the play pretty well, and Mario Manningham escorted out of bounds inside the 15 at the 13-yard line of the Wildcats on a gain of about 4 yards.
Good job of Johnson, Northwestern, really stringing this play out because Michigan had something here. There he is. Johnson comes in, forces Manningham to the sideline, uses that sideline as the extra defender. Smart football.
Third down and about 6 for Michigan. And 3 of 10 on third downs here today. Northwestern defense came in 10th in the conference in third down conversion defense. Henny over the middle. Matthews change of direction, stacked up very close to the first down inside the 10. And they've got a first and goal to go now for Michigan just outside the 6. Adam Cadella, the linebacker, got there. 7-yard pickup.
Wayne, you and I talk about it all the time, running routes with detail. Good job by Matthews, knowing exactly where the sticks are to move the chains, getting there, sitting down in the zone coverage, and picking up the first down.
Yeah, that's not inconsequential, Chris, because a lot of times, especially here at the college level, the kids don't run to the first down marker. That's the first thing they have to do in that situation, especially on third downs. Mike Hart on first and goal. They tried to go left again behind Jake Long and Adam Kraus. John Gill responded on that defensive front for Northwestern.
From Michigan, I continue to pound the ball behind Jake Long. He's your all-everything tackle, as good as there is in the country. Let him go out there and do his thing, run right behind him.
Chad Henne played the first series of the first half and sat out and has started the 2 series here in this third quarter. 9th play of the drive for Michigan. Second and goal to go, the 5 of Northwestern. Henne. Carson Butler, touchdown Michigan.
Wayne Henne just engineered a masterful drive down the field. Great execution, a flurry between run and pass, and capping it off with a nice touch ball to his tight end, Carson Butler.
Butler's first touchdown of the season. The extra point try. And Gingel's got it through the uprights. 5:45 left to go. Henne on a 5-yard touchdown pass to Butler. Michigan draws close. Thank you, Dave. Michigan has drawn closer here, and those folks in maize and blue are a little happier. 2-point lead, Northwestern. Under 6 minutes to go in the third. Twin safeties back deep for the Wildcats. Ryan Wright on the kickoff. Good leverage. This little spin move. And it'll be first down coming up for Northwestern across its 25-yard line. Stewart on the return. Let's get down to Dara.
Well, as we know, Mike Massey went out on that play for Michigan a few plays ago, and it looks like they're working on his left knee. He laid him out for quite a bit, and it looks like he's trying to walk on it, but gingerly, he's not getting much elevation. That's his left knee. That's starting tight end, Mike Massey, and as you know, his backup, Karan Butler, went in there and just scored for Michigan, guys.
Let's hope it's not serious. Mike's a senior. First down for Northwestern. Pache, a little screen pass. Read beautifully. Brandon Harrison made a nice play on Omar Conte. A loss of 2.
That was an outstanding play in space. Conte has a little wiggle. He's shown it earlier. Good job closing to the ball, limiting the play.
Northwestern, one of their concerns was to get off to a fast start. Well, they did that in the first half. Here in the second half, they've sputtered a little bit. This is only their second offensive possession of the third quarter. Michigan dominated on a long touchdown drive. Bechet called play. Again, trying to cross up the Michigan front. That play worked a little bit better in the first half than it has here in the second half. Jamison recovered to make the stop, along with Will Johnson on the defensive line.
Well, and the part of the problem is that Michigan's defensive ends are coming up the field in a hurry. They're playing with explosiveness now. They're getting up the field. They're not blitzing necessarily right now. They're allowing the front four to apply pressure.
Well, there's a little more sense of urgency on the Michigan side. Three-man down line with Crable in the slot. 3rd and 9. Thompson, first down up at the 48-yard line of Northwestern. Good pitch and catch. Donovan Warren, the coverage for the Wolverines.
Good pitch and catch, but also good pre-snap read by C.J. Bechet, picking up the blitz. He knows he's got to get rid of it in a hurry, and he finds his receiver who's playing one-on-one. And yeah, hey, get fired up. You know you're going up against a freshman cornerback. If you're going to challenge anybody one-on-one, why not go there?
23-yard pass play, first down to the 49. Conte, good seal around the end. Gain of 7 down to the 44. Back to the studio, Dave Rebson. Dave?
It's tight in Evanston. It's tight in Champaign as well, Wayne. And Penn State trying to tie it up here on a 3rd and goal. Rodney Kinlaw stopped by Antonio Steele. They kicked the field goal, but Penn State still down 4.
Yeah, the action just starting to heat up on this beautiful late September afternoon around the Big Ten. Conte over 100 yards rushing, 105 yards and 13 carries. Second down. Bechet waited as long as he could. Jamison forced the blocker back into the quarterback, Kurt Mattis, and Bechet goes down. A sizable loss back to the 49-yard line. Loss of almost 10.
And it was good penetration by Jamison, and this is just effort. Effort and the ability to get your leg out and trip him. That's what it looked like here. See him coming off the field, gets a little foot out. You're right, trip. Counts as a sack, though.
Sure, especially if you can get away with it. 3rd down and 10. Blitz. Ross Lane, tough catch. First down, Michigan 40-yard line. Morgan Trent was right there. A bullet fired by Bechet from a very tight pocket. 5th catch of the day for Ross Lane, a gain of about 11.
No, he fits this ball into a very tight window. Trent closing on it. Good job by the receiver coming back to the football. That's what makes the play here. Ross Lane keeps working back towards the quarterback. He doesn't allow Trent to come in between him and the ball.
First down to the 39 of Michigan. Bechet screen. Drake Dunsmore with a gain of almost 5 yards. Chris Graham responded. We talk so much about how the spread offense, you want to get everything to the outside. Meanwhile, Northwestern injury. Joel Belding unable to continue. So an injury timeout here. Joel is a junior. And Joel now gets up under his own power and heads off. Joined host Mike Hall. Find out what's happening on campus as your school preps for the big game. Get up to the second report. See campuses battle it out to determine who has the best football atmosphere. Friday night tailgate. Fridays 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Only on the Big Ten Network. Second down and about 5 for Northwestern. Bechet. Nothing there.
C.J. Bechet, the ball carrier.
Sean Crable in the hole. Blew it up. A loss of 1. And it's 3rd down and 6.
And that's exactly Crable doing what he does, and that's getting up the field. A bit surprised by another draw play by Bechet, but This guy's a player. He leads the conference in tackles for loss, so you know he gets on the other side of the ball.
And today, Chris, his role a little bit different. He's normally outside of the strong side linebacker spot, but today, with a three-man down line, the spread offense, Crable is actually a defensive end.
And he's widening his stance a bit.
Bechet, tough pass there, underthrown. Rashid Ward, the intended receiver. Jamar Adams and Obi Izay had the coverage for Michigan. And the punting unit comes on for Northwestern.
Shot at Jamar Adams there. He passes the eyeball test. That's what you want your safeties to look like. Big, physical, and still able to run with the receivers.
Matthews and Manningham back deep. Demos trying the pooch. And the catch made. Fair catch by Matthews back inside the 10-yard line. I want to welcome viewers watching the Big Ten Network today on RCN and Wide Open West Systems. Hope all you watching the Big Ten Network for the first time today in Chicago and the rest of Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Pennsylvania enjoy today's games. Glad to have you all on board on RCN and Wide Open West. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh. This has been a good one. Northwestern leading by a very slim, tenuous 2-point margin, but Michigan backed up to its 6-yard line to begin this drive. The veteran Chad Henne back at quarterback. Mike Hart in the end zone. Henne going for the screen pass. Manningham unable to outrun the defense to the corner. Shoved out of bounds by Brad Phillips and Quentin Davey.
We've seen this bubble screen a number of times, which tells me that it's an automatic check when they get Northwestern in certain coverages. See Manningham running the bubble screen. Arrington's run it. Right now, Henne, again, that last series, Wayne, he was very efficient, very fluid.
Yep.
See if he can continue.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Manningham uncovers again, this time for a first down and a whole lot more. Across the 25-yard line, out near the 26 of Michigan. Reggie McPherson brought him down, and Manningham a bit shaken up, 16-yard gain.
Prior to this game, Manningham only had 1 touchdown, but he has a number of catches in the game. He got to the paint early. This is what they want to do, keep him involved. They want the ball in his hands because he's good with running with the ball after the catch.
Yeah, and he can make people miss. There's no doubt about that, Chris. You're right. And he's 1 miss away from going all the way. Arrington, the man in motion. Henne looking that way quickly. Arrington in the flat with 2 men to beat. And he's turned back to the 30. Pretty well covered. Brad Phillips was there. He took the football away after the whistle. Sherrick McManus also in on that stop. Pickup of about 4 to the 30-yard line of Michigan.
It's interesting because that play, McManus, the cornerback for Northwestern, was matched up against Arrington. Last play, he was matched up against Manningham, so they're moving their guys around defensively for Northwestern. Michigan, conversely, they're saying, hey, if you want to play man, we're going to run your guys all over the field. We're going to go left side, right side, tire your guys out in the secondary.
2nd and 6, time winding down to this 3rd quarter. Penalty markers down, looked like a false start.
False start, offense, number 52.
Pretty windy down on the field as Steve Payman's microphone will tell you. Stephen Schilling, the guilty party. And time is wound down in this 3rd quarter. Chad Henne, the senior, rallying Michigan on the road at Northwestern. Mike Hart contributing as well as he always does. Tight ball game. 16-14 Wildcats as we head to the 4th. Along with Dara McIntosh and Chris Martin, Wayne Larrabee started the 4th quarter. Northwestern leading by 2. Michigan facing 2nd down and 11. Mutual Alumni Spotlight. Michigan has the most grads living in the Chicagoland area of any school of the Big Ten. Henne red hot back to the throw. Manningham latches on, and he's tackled right away. Good short tackle to the open field made by Quentin Davey. Back to the studio and Dave Rebson. Dave?
Wayne, want to get you updated on Indiana and Iowa, and the Hoosiers getting a little breathing room. Josiah Sears pulls his way in for his 4th TD of the year, 28-14 in the 4th.
Would be a huge win for Indiana, but I will tell you this: Iowa is very injury-riddled right now. They lost a lot of people at Wisconsin last week.
No doubt, but Indiana needed to bounce back, so tested their resiliency.
3rd and 8 facing Michigan here. A little bit less than 8 yards ago, actually. They're 4 of 11 on 3rd downs, but Chad Henne is red hot. 14 of 19, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Early going 4th quarter. Great to have you aboard. This has been a good one. Good protection. Got the first down to Matthews, who reached it across as he escaped out of bounds near the 36-yard line of Michigan. Back to the sidelines in Dara McIntosh.
You know, guys, I'm sitting here on the Northwestern side of the bench, but these are all Michigan alumni, especially Jim Bolden and Dave Cadella, whose sons actually play for Northwestern. But you guys played together at Michigan, is that correct?
Sure did. That's correct.
How is it that your sons both decided to come play for Northwestern?
Well, I'll let you answer that question.
They're smarter than we are?
No, it's interesting. Dave's son, of course, is playing in his 5th year here at Northwestern. Right. And Michael, our son, is in his freshman year. So it's a little bit of time frame difference. But, yeah, they're playing together this year. And it's exciting for us because we're from Evanston. We've lived in Evanston for about 16 years, and this is where Michael has grown up. So
that must be exciting. Who do you root for on offense?
In what now?
Who do you root for? I see no maize and blue here. You gotta have.
No, I learned 3 years ago. I came with a Northwestern shirt, but I had a little blue underneath, one of our Bose Boys shirts. And after the game, Adam came up and said, "Good to see you're wearing Northwestern colors." He looked underneath my shirt. I was castigated for that and haven't done it since.
Okay, so today you root for Northwestern.
Absolutely.
Every week we root for Northwestern.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Back to you.
All right, thank you, Dara. Deontay Battle bumped the Michigan receiver off of that play, and no flags. Low Carr made sure one of the folks in stripes got an earful. 2nd down and 10. Chad Henne again started the ball game, played 1 series, led Michigan to a touchdown, and then Ryan Mallett finished the first half. And with Michigan trailing at halftime, there's the contact. With Michigan trailing at halftime, 16-7, it was the senior who came out at the outside of the second half. He's been there ever since. Mike Hart, John Gill, Adam Collette, Cadella,
the ball carrier.
all around the football, and Hart gets a gain of a couple of yards.
Northwestern imploring the crowd to get fired up. Their defense knows it's a big stop opportunity here.
Michigan at halftime just 2 of 8 on 3rd down conversions, 3 of 4 here in the second half. 3rd down and 8.
Watch number 16, Adrian Arrington.
Motion from Butler, the tight end. Henne, good protection. Through the hands of Matthews. Being hounded by David Orduba. And Northwestern gets the stop.
That's a big hold by Northwestern, going with its nickel package. So Orduba coming off the bench playing solid coverage. Nice adjustment by Coach Greg Colby to go with the nickel package and bottle up the receivers of Michigan.
Zoltan Mesko, Michigan.
Zoltan Mesko in punt formation. Rasheed Ward back deep. He's returned 3 punts for 25 yards. Boy, Mesko hits a beautiful punt again. Muffed by Ward, recovers back at the 1-yard line of Northwestern. Oh, has the table turned here. Northwestern will be 99 yards away when we come back. Thanks, Dave. Right here, Northwestern backed up to its 1-yard line. And without their great running back, Tyrell Sutton, the Doak Walker candidate, he was injured in this game right here. This is week 2 against Nevada on that move right there. And another look at it. It's an ankle injury that has lingered for 3 weeks, and no one can quite figure it out. But Sutton has been unable to go. He came back in that game and caught a swing pass for 25 yards, but he's not been able to get back on the field since. Meanwhile, in his stead here today, Omar Conte has rushed for 107 yards and 13 carries with a 49-yard touchdown run.
Northwestern in a tough spot right here, Wayne.
First down. Not much there. Just give it to the fullback straight ahead. Everybody punched in. Mark Woodson on the carry.
This is where you got to get low pad level and drive. Pretty much a stalemate.
Adam Crum didn't get low enough on that block. Number 77, that's where he wanted to go. No gain, second down at the 1-yard line for Northwestern. The original line of scrimmage was going to be the 2-yard line, but a holding penalty against Northwestern turned into a 1-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal, so they're back at that 1-yard line. On the punt return. Now out of the shotgun. Puts it up, incomplete. Oh, what a hit made by Graham to break up that beautiful throw to Drake Dunsmore. Engelman was also there.
Wayne, that time we got what we call a 2-deep beater. Cover 2, you get your tight end right up the seams, but a nice shot by the safety to jar the ball loose.
Yeah, I mean, the linebacker, Chris Graham, was there, but watch this hit by Engelman. You talk about timing.
Yeah, great timing, and a good job by the linebacker of carrying that route.
An injured Wolverine down on the field. I believe that's Chris Graham. It is Chris Graham who's down.
You referenced it earlier. There's been a lot of hitting going on both sides of the ball. Guys are really flying around. Bodies colliding.
12.5 to go. Northwestern clinging to a 2-point lead and facing 3rd and 10 at their 1-yard line. When you're pinned this far back, does it, I guess, kind of restrict what you can do in your spread offense, Chris? I mean,
no question about it. I mean, you got to go with a conservative play, but you're probably going to look towards your interior wide receivers and make short, simple cuts. Good to see that guy, Chris Graham, getting off the ground. He's an active linebacker. He's been flying around all day. One of those guys that when you watch tape on him, he quickly jumps off and gets your attention.
3rd and 10 at the Wildcat 1-yard line. Bechet with Conte behind him. Bechet. There, first down. Ross Lane up across the 20-yard line to the 22. Morgan Trent brought him down. 21-yard gain, and they're out of the hole.
Well, and this is the definition of Northwestern being aggressive, because they run a double move here, backed up in the end zone, having the confidence in Bechet and Ross Lane to go ahead and execute. I mean, you think they're going to be conservative? Not so much. They run an out and up. Ross Lane, nice job of going attacking the football.
Airtight pass protection on the 3rd down call, and now Roberson gets the call around the end and picks up a yard or 2. Sean Crable makes the stop for Michigan.
Wayne, again, what a gutsy call, though, particularly backed up. Cornerback reads that, and that could be pick 6.
Well, here's the other thing. I mean, if anybody holds on the line, that's points for Michigan, too. 2nd down. Holding in the end zone. Can't do it. Conte, a man in motion. And now Bechet has to call a timeout. So that's the first timeout taken by either team here in the second half. Just under 11.5 minutes to go.
30 seconds.
Northwestern trying to work out of its own end, and I mean from deep in its own end. It's 30 minutes of highlights, analysis, and features dedicated to the world of Big Ten women's athletics. The Big Ten Women's Show, Monday nights at 7:30 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, and Dara McIntosh. Beautiful afternoon to be at a football game in Evanston, Illinois. Michigan has a strong following here as well. Close to a capacity crowd at Ryan Field. And they've seen a good one. These two coaching staffs, these two teams have come out and done quite a job here today. Both sides.
When they're battling. I mean, these guys, both sides are being physical. They're playing hard. They're not quitting on plays. They're going through the whistle. Everything that you want your players to do.
Boucher, 20 of 35 passing, 268 yards, 1 pick. Second down for Northwestern. About 8 yards to go. Good protection again. Boucher trying to step up. Trying to get away, cannot. First it was Taylor, then it was Jamison, and the man who finally put him away was Obi Ize.
Right at Michigan there, just getting a number of guys right up the gut, right up the middle. Penetration again, collapsing the pocket. Ize getting in there, getting involved. Michigan looking for a spark here, trying to figure out who's going to make the next big play.
Third down, still 8 yards to go, Northwestern. Boucher has the ball knocked away. Michigan's got it. Looked like Brandon Graham deflected it loose, and Sean Crable comes up with it, and Michigan's got it at the Northwestern 16.
Well, Wayne, when you're sitting in the pocket, you cannot let that ball get away from your body. That time Boucher did. He did not keep it tight here. You'll see it, the ball gets away from his body, and a great play, though. The heads up to go for the swipe and get the ball out of there.
Could be the game-changing play Michigan has been looking for. Best field position to start a drive for the Wolverines. Mike Hart unable to escape to the outside on the left side of the line, and again, John Gill responds from the interior of the Northwestern front.
Well, big plays are infectious, and how you think about, look at Mike Hart there fixing his jersey. They've been all over him today, grabbing just about everything they can. But interesting to see here how Michigan comes out. You know, those big plays are infectious. See if they try and punch this ball in the end zone here.
8 tackles for John Gill, most of them on Mike Hart. Henny looking to step up, tripped up, shovels it forward, incomplete. That is not a fumble, it's an incomplete pass. John Gill again draped all over the quarterback. He has played this game on Michigan's side of the line.
Well, he's been an absolute beast. I mean, you see he keeps going. Oh, he's returning the trip favor that we saw earlier.
He tripped it. Well, you know, you've got to be resourceful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
3rd and 10, Michigan. This would be huge for Northwestern to hold Michigan here. Michigan 5 of 13 on 3rd downs. Henny, end zone, touchdown! Arrington! Oh, what a throw and catch! 16-yard touchdown pass, and Michigan back in the lead.
Well, this is great play call, great delivery. Look at that zip. Knowing that you're going to catch the ball in traffic, Arrington knowing exactly where he's supposed to be, catches Northwestern in their nickelback coverage. Good play call by Michigan. Excellent execution.
After the turnover they got from their defense, you had the feeling they had to go in and score 6 offensively, and now, of course, the 7th coming up here with the extra point. Unless they want to go, now they're going to go for 2. They had the offensive unit on the field. Now they take a timeout. Trying to decide whether to go to 2 for 2 or not. They're leading it 20-16.
And then we talked about Arrington and how effective he is, particularly on 3rd downs. He just seems to step up every time they need it on the 3rd down conversion. That time, getting to the paint.
Let's take a look at the Cooper Tires big stop of the game. Northwestern on 3rd down, Chris.
And you're going to see great effort here by Michigan, fighting through, keep penetrating, keep going to the ball. Big Graham making a play. Look at him,
Graham.
juicing the team up.
And Crable, who else but Crable to gather it in.
And that's one Bechet's going to wish he had back. Again, he lets the ball get a little bit away from his body, but a better play by the defenders of Michigan.
Each side has 2 timeouts remaining. Michigan has thought better of going for 2. They're going to take 1 here. So Jason Gingell back on for the point after. With a hold of Zoltan Mesko. Right down the boulevard. Michigan roars into the lead with a couple of second-half touchdowns. 9:53 to go in the game. Michigan 21, Northwestern 16. Big Ten Network Football is brought to you by U.S. Bank, home of the 5-star service guarantee. By Yield Guard BT Triple, the yield protection system. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here. Welcome back to Evanston. Does Northwestern have an answer for Michigan's 14 unanswered points here in the second half? The Wolverines back on top. Simmons to the 30. Nice return. Close to the 34-yard line of Northwestern. Chad Henne missed the last couple of games due to a right knee injury. You see the brace on his right knee.
Absolutely, Wayne. And one of the big question marks was how is that knee going to respond in the heat of battle? And you'll see it here. Henne, he gets good knee bend right there. Good knee bend. He plants that foot in the ground, and he's able to deliver a strike. So it looks just fine to me.
That was a medical telestration. Bechet trying to squeeze that one in, incomplete. Boy, Harrison was in the shirt of Ross Lane that time.
Well, you got Michigan's defensive backs. They're snuggling up a little closer to Northwestern's wide receivers, and they're challenging them. They're not letting them run around in space. They're getting a lot tighter coverage.
How does all of this, the fact that Michigan now has the lead, how does that change the way Northwestern calls offense, the way Michigan plays defense?
Well, I think Northwestern has to stay with what they're doing. It was working earlier, continue to spread the guys out. Michigan's just being much more aggressive defensively.
Conte, shoestring tackle made by Taylor, Terrence Taylor, down to Dara on the sidelines.
You know, after Karan Butler came off of the field, after Sean Crable recovered that fumble, he came over to the sidelines to hype up the fans behind the bench. But what you guys don't know is that this field holds 47,000 fans, and I'm telling you, I must estimate over 3/4 of them are wearing maize and blue. This crowd feels like a Michigan crowd, and this Michigan team knows it.
Well, we told you, a lot of Michigan alums living in this Chicagoland area. Northwestern just 3 of 6 on third downs in the second half, facing third down here. Got an open receiver, got a first down. Tim Thompson out of bounds, 49-yard line of Northwestern. So this drive will continue off a 10-yard gain. Donovan Warren is the man they worked on.
Well, big conversion and smart again to attack the young corner. You know he's a freshman. Make him go out there and earn his stripes. Good job finding the sticks by Kim Thompson. First down.
Just over 9 minutes to go here in the fourth. Northwestern has led much of the way. They're trailing right now. Roberson and Conte in the backfield. They're going to Conte. Conte unable to get away.
Conte, the ball carrier.
Big Tim Jamison grabbed his ankles and would not let go. So pick up of about 3 down to the 48-yard line of Michigan, 2nd and 7.
Big Tim's been active today. He's been getting up the field, wrapping up guys in space and applying that interior pressure.
And he's the rush end, but he's had to do a lot of his work on the run against the running game. Slot to the top, slot to the bottom of your screen. Conte alongside the quarterback. Conte stays in the block. Oh, nice catch made, juggling catch made by the wide receiver Eric Peterman for a first down inside the Michigan 40 at the 37-yard line. 11-yard gain.
And Northwestern again working this choice route against the safety of Michigan. Felt the inside pressure, so Peterman wisely breaks it to the outside. Good concentration to haul in the catch.
How about the block by Conte on the defensive lineman coming uncovered up the middle? And that allowed Bechet to make the throw. First down. 37-yard line of Michigan. Blitz coming. Bechet. Oh, it's in the air. Intercepted by Jamison down the sidelines. Jamison to the 25 as it knocked out of bounds from behind by Ross Lane. Brandon Harrison was coming on the blitz.
And another sudden change for the catch. You gotta feel this blitz. Now Bechet's gotta pick this up in his pre-snap read. He doesn't see the blitz. It's coming from his blind side. Excellent job. Harrison getting in there and stripping the ball.
Chris, again, in watching several of their games on tape, Bechet does not have that inner awareness that great quarterbacks have of knowing from behind how close the rush is. He may have seen the blitz, but he did not feel it, and therefore was not in a position to deal with it. Second time Bechet has had the ball knocked loose from behind. Mike Hart goes to work for Michigan, and the Wolverines can put a dagger in this one if they can score a touchdown here. Adam Cadello makes the stop for Northwestern, a short gain. Nothing has come easy for Mike Hart here today. That's the thing about CJ, does a lot of things well, but you get the feeling he does not have that sixth sense that, hey, somebody's coming from behind.
Right, that clock's not going off. It's just not registering.
Second down, about 8. Snap fumbled by Henne. Covers it up back outside the 20. It'll be third down and about 11 coming up for the Wolverines.
Give Michigan credit because they've come out of the locker room at halftime fired up. I mean, it's particularly on the defensive side of the ball, which bleeds into offense. That time Henne just couldn't put a handle on it. But you get the sense that the coaches of Michigan made the adjustments, but they got into the ears of their players because these guys are coming out playing with a little more edge than they did in the first half.
For the game, Michigan 6 of 14 on third downs. Much better than that in the second half. Henne. Everybody deep. Got a man wide open. Leaping grab out of bounds. That ball sailed on Henne, and Arrington made the catch, but he was out of bounds.
Well, that time it was a breakdown and cover. Anytime you get a wide receiver this wide open, that's a tough catch to make. Almost impossible, but anytime you get wide receivers that wide open, you know it's a breakdown fundamentally in the coverage of Northwestern.
Gingell missed a 26-yarder earlier. This one from 39. And it is no good. He pulled it to the right. Northwestern with another shot, down by 5 with just over 6 minutes to go. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, Dara McIntosh back at Northwestern. Can't keep up with all the Saturday action? Well, catch up with Big Ten Extra Points. Every scoring play from every Big Ten game, all in one show. Big Ten Extra Points, Monday nights, 7 Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network. Northwestern trailing by 5. Just over 6 minutes ago, their defense gets a big stop following a Wildcat turnover. Bechet goes to work. The out, not quite there. Off the mark with that pitch to Thompson. Coverage by Warren, the freshman underneath.
Donovan Warren.
Look at them to continue to challenge Donovan Warwick. Coach Garrick McGee knows that he's a young corner. Now it's getting down to crunch time. You're going to see what he's made of.
Second and 10. Four-man rush. Bechet gets it out across the 22 to the 25. Gain of 3. Third down and 8 coming up for Northwestern. Tim Jamison, the defensive end, caught up with him.
Michigan's getting good coverage down the field forcing Bechet to hold the ball longer. Good job of fighting through, making the effort. Michigan's secondary really stepping up, blanketing the receivers of Northwestern.
Another third down call here. Third down, a little bit less than 8. Through the hands of Ward, intercepted by the Michigan Wolverines. Obi Izay makes the interception. He's playing in place of the injured John Thompson. And another big turnover forced by the Michigan defense.
Well, this is why you work tip drill. Ball in the air, go get it. One-handed, pull it in. Obi Izay showing that he has hands. Again, here's the read. Ball goes in the air. Way to beat Johnny on the spot. This second half, Michigan's defense in particularly has continued to make big play after big play.
And another opportunity to put this one away. First down at the 26. Mike Hart. Adam Cadella on the tackle, pursuing from behind. Gain of 2. Nothing easy for Hart today.
No, he's getting worked out. Northwestern flowing to the football. Getting a lot of bodies, as we've said earlier, population. Bringing most to Evanston when they go to make a tackle on Hart.
This beleaguered Northwestern defense came in ranked 10th in scoring, 9th in yards allowed, 10th in passing yards allowed. Trying to hang tough and give the offense another crack at it. Under 5 minutes to go in the game. Hart trying to reverse field. Got by Deontay Bell. Mike Hart down the sideline to the 5, reaching for the pylon, and they're going to say out of bounds at the 1. Reggie McPherson chased him down. 23-yard running play for Mike Hart.
And Wayne, we've talked about it a few times today, gap and lane integrity. You know Hart has vision and cutback ability. Showing it here, you have to maintain discipline. You cannot overrun it. He is a great cutback runner, and he always manages to find that crease.
Mike Hart, the tail of the tandem, up to 90 yards rushing now. Hart, touchdown.
Wayne, that's a play of attrition. They just wore down Northwestern's D-line. Those guys have been put out on the field because of the sudden change in the turnovers, and you can just tell that the interior line, those guys are getting worn down. Mike Hart just waltzes into the end zone.
Mike Hart carried the final 24 yards of that drive, triggered by the turnover. The interception. And Michigan in command by 11 and make it a 12-point lead. So the Wolverines, it took them a while to get on track. But they've scored 21 unanswered points here this afternoon in the second half. Meanwhile, Michigan last week against Penn State, it was all about grittiness, toughness. It was about a freshman quarterback scoring his first touchdown of his career, Ryan Mallett. But really the story was Mike Hart. 44 carries, a career high. He would not be denied. Mike Hart rushing for 153 yards, and Lloyd Carr and Joe Paterno, two legendary coaches, hooking up. Holiday Inn Express scoring drive. Hart with a 1-yard touchdown run. He set it up on a 23-yard scamper as well.
So often when we talk about Hart's ability to run with the football, but people don't realize he is a great blocker also in pass protection. He's just an all-around football player.
Stewart and Simmons back deep. This will be Stephen Simmons. Simmons has some running room. Across the 45-50, into Michigan territory to the 45-yard line of the Wolverines. Stephen Simmons on a 51-yard return.
Just when Northwestern needed to, Simmons making a play. And Wayne, he did a nice job of setting up his blocks. You'll see it first, he fields it cleanly. Guys getting on bodies, finding the running lane, and having the speed to hit it.
First down to the Michigan 45 is where they've got it spotted. Boucher hit from behind. A tight pocket collapsing now, and this time Brandon Graham got there. And if he didn't get the quarterback, Adam Patterson would have.
Well, you are seeing a collapsing pocket. And credit the defensive end of Michigan. They're coming off the edge in a hurry, and they're beating Northwestern's linemen with speed.
Loss of 5, second at 15, screenplay incomplete. I think they wanted to get it to Conte, but there were so many jerseys of both colors in the vicinity, it was hard to tell. Boucher has really been under siege, especially in the fourth quarter. Ron English cranked it up a gear or two with his Michigan defense.
Give Coach English props. He went and got into his guys at halftime, got them fired up, because they've been the responsible for Michigan getting back in. It starts with that defense coming out, making big plays, and getting the ball back to their offense.
Third down and 15, Northwestern. Boucher fumbles. At the 45-yard line, Michigan football. Taylor recovers. Jamison on the hit. Crable was there as well. Taylor the recovery. Fourth straight Northwestern possession that ends in a turnover.
Well, Wayne, the last couple series, Boucher has been a Northwestern statue. He hasn't moved his feet. The pressure is just collapsing. In Michigan, they're pinning their ears back and coming after it, collapsing the pocket.
I don't think Boucher has been the same since he was blitzed by Brandon Harrison from behind and
he's not
lost
picking
the football.
up. No, exactly. He's not picking up the pre-snap blitzes. He's standing back there, not moving his feet, clearly not feeling the pressure.
Expect a healthy dose of Mike Hardoff, left tackle. And that's what they get right there. Gain of about 3 yards. Kevin Mims, the defensive end, made the stop for Northwestern. Inside of 4 minutes to go for the game, and Michigan leading by 12. Timeout Northwestern. Their second timeout.
Mike Hart's in. There's no ham coming out of this game right now. Just keep feeding me.
Again, he needed 139 rushing yards today to set Michigan's all-time career rushing record, passing Anthony Thomas. I'll tell you something, if he gets it today, he will have earned it. It's been a tough day for Mike Hart. At halftime, he was averaging less than 3 yards a carry.
But it speaks to his durability.
Meanwhile, the Michigan defense has risen to the occasion in the second half, after trailing at halftime.
Well, they have. They've made play after play. They come up with a big interception with Trent. Guys getting up the field. Graham having the wherewithal to strip it out here.
Hart again. Good second effort. Gets him another 2 yards down to the Northwestern 41, where it'll be third down for Michigan. 3.5 minutes to go for the game.
And again, Wayne, Michigan's defense has been the object of derision. So many people have attacked the defense, particularly early in the season with the number of points that they've given up. But this is the defense that's responded and come out of the halftime getting after it.
Tim McAvoy shaken up, slow to get up. Favoring that left leg. Mike Hart was slow to get up. We mentioned several times, and those of you who've been watching all afternoon, there's been some good hitting in this game. Big time hitting. That doesn't look good for McAvoy, the right guard. He needs some assistance in getting off.
6 to go, Michigan.
Third down for the Wolverines, about 6 yards to go. Corey Zerbel is in place of Tim McAvoy at right guard. Third down. Butler, a tight end, is the fullback, with Hart the tailback. It's Butler in motion. Henny. Matthews. Outran 3 defenders on the cut, gets the first down. And that may do it. John Gill finally brought him down. I'll tell you what, it looked like they had a purple fence in front of Greg Matthews, and he just put the brakes on and went the other way for 15 yards.
Yeah, they did. They had the purple fence, but the fence just kept sliding, and it was a nice job of cutting it back right there. Making all three of those guys.
That's not fair, is it?
Watch him stop on a dime.
My goodness.
Good job of sticking that foot in the ground and changing directions by Matthews.
Again, Northwestern just one timeout remaining. Michigan on the drive. Hart. Slipping defenders, motoring his way inside the 20-yard line, down to the 19. Mike Hart on a gain of 7. Quentin Davey the tackle.
I can tell you, Wayne, as a former defensive player, this is where you get tired of hitting a guy like Mike Hart. He is a pounder. We said it earlier. He likes to run behind his pads. He has great balance, and you just physically get tired of putting lick after lick on Mike Hart.
And it's not just about Mike Hart. It's about Jake Long and Adam Krause up front. They're putting some hits out there as well. The left tackle and the left guard. Second down. Hart again running left. This time they meet him with pressure from the backside of that play. Corey Wooten came across. Wooten's played well here today. They've been disappointed in him up until now, but he's factored in today.
Yeah, he's played well. Going up against arguably one of the best tackles in the game. But Wayne, you know what's interesting is Michigan came out at the beginning of the game. Hold up. Northwestern calls timeout.
This is a 30-second.
Unofficially, Mike Hart 27 yards short of becoming Michigan's all-time leading rusher. It's a matter of will it happen today or will it happen next week at home against Eastern Michigan. Lloyd Carr knows his team has been in a dogfight here today, but boy, he has to be happy with the way they responded in the second half of this ball game.
Absolutely. They bounced back. They were resilient. They continued to make big play after big play.
They gave up 16 points and 309 yards of offense by halftime. And did not force a turnover, but here in the second half, they forced 4 consecutive Northwestern turnovers.
And that's a clear sign that Coach Carr has good control over his team. Getting his guys fired up and able to bounce back.
Third down, Michigan. Mike Hart met at the pass short of the first down. We welcome those of you joining us. Illinois, Penn State. Good ball game down in Champaign. We've had a good one here. Michigan salting it away. Wayne Larrabee along with Chris Martin and Dara McIntosh. Northwestern led 16-7 at halftime. Michigan has scored 21 unanswered points here in the second half, and the defense of Michigan has forced 4 consecutive Northwestern offensive possessions to end in turnovers.
Absolutely. That's been the message in a bottle, and they've been able to give the ball back to their offense. And again, Chad Henne has been running the offense with efficiency. He seems comfortable in what they're doing. He has good command. He's been the field general. Not sure why he came out of the game earlier, but he's led his team pretty intensely today.
Northwestern has stopped the clock for the final time. 54 seconds left to go in the game. Pat Fitzgerald had his Wildcats ready to play. A very impressive first half at them on both sides of the ball. But in the second half, Michigan made some adjustments, brought some pressure on C.J. Bechet, forced one turnover after the other. And as you would expect from a character group from Ann Arbor, they responded to the deficit at halftime.
That's where you show it's a test of character and a test of attitude. His guys came out in the second half with attitude. They knew that they did not want to give this game up. They refused to lose. You had the senior leadership, guys flying around making plays, giving great effort. And it really starts with Chad Henne. 193 yards, 3 TDs. Nice job coming back, showing that there's no effects on that knee.
Northwestern out of timeouts, 54 ticks on the clock. Michigan on fourth down will run it. Mike Hart trying to shake loose, and he apparently has the first down to the 15-yard line. Reggie McPherson brought him down. So a gain of about 5 yards for Hart, and that should pretty much do it. They move the chains and now wind the clock. So for a while, it looked like all those maize and blue fans would be disappointed here on their trek to Evanston. But the Wolverines, with a strong second half, will prevail and go to 2-0 in Big Ten play.
And it just wasn't about Mike Hart. You had a lot of guys play well. The receivers for Michigan were making plays all day long. Manningham got in the end zone. He was stretching out. Defensively, you saw guys moving around, creating fumbles, getting a lot of pressure. So Michigan showed a number of big guys coming out here making a lot of plays. Congratulations to Lloyd Carr and the Michigan Wolverines. They prevail here in Evanston, overcoming a halftime deficit to win 28-16. So Mike Hart didn't get the Michigan all-time rushing record today, but he's likely to get it next week. It was Chad Henne who came out at quarterback to lead the Wolverines. The senior leads them to victory here today with 3 touchdown passes. Tough one for the Wolverines, but a victory nonetheless on the road, and they go to 2-0 in conference play. Again, the final score here in Evanston: Michigan 28, Northwestern 16. Chad Henne leads the Wolverines to their 3rd consecutive win. We'll send you out to Iowa for Indiana and Iowa.
Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines go on the road and continue to build momentum with a win at Northwestern. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet Michigan's Mr. Positive, who patrols the defensive line of scrimmage. And we'll look ahead to next week as we scout next-door neighbor Eastern Michigan. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Pepsi, More Happy, by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA, by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By the University of Michigan Health System. Working together, that's the Michigan difference. By Big Boy Restaurants. Big Boy, it's a Michigan thing. And by TCF Bank. For all your banking needs, all you need is a little TCF.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay, the Wolverines' first road game at Northwestern, and they get a victory, 28-16. But I got to tell you, you made me nervous there for a while. It was a lot tougher than I think a lot of people expected.
Well, there isn't any question, Jim. It was the first time you go on the road, a lot of young guys, and Northwestern, I thought, really played extremely hard. They were not the same team that we watched on film from the previous week, so give them some credit, but we struggled in the first half.
While we're doing this, I just thought I asked you, how's your cold? Because you sound a little you sound a little like Froggy here.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Folks out there worry about you, you know. Anyway, the big thing too is that you got Chad Henne back into the mix a little bit in this game against Northwestern.
Well, I'd say more than a little bit, Jim, to correct you. But yeah, it was great to have him back. He has really worked extremely hard to get back to where he was ruled ready to play by the doctors, and he started the game with a bang.
Well, they got the ball first. This is the first play of the game, and it's kind of freakish.
Well, it's a weird play here. Number 45, Obiose, thinks the man's down, so instead of finishing the tackle, I think he was afraid of a late hit there, and they go 60 yards. Our defense stiffens because Brandon Engelman saved a touchdown there because it could have been 7-0.
They go up 3-0. Now this is first possession of yours, Chad Henne back in the ball game.
Well, we get good protection, and third down, Chad throws Adrian Arrington, who continued in this game to play extremely well as he has all year.
Boy, nothing wrong with Chad's arm, huh?
No, he's ready to go, and Mario had his best game of the year, caught 10 passes, and made some very good runs.
And here's a great play by Chad going to his second receiver.
Well, he looks left and gets Mario, and Mario makes a guy miss, and now we take the lead.
7-3 at this point. Now, Northwestern offensively in the first half did some things in the run game. I kind of think surprised you a little bit?
Well, I think more than anything else, Obiose was getting his first start in there, Jim, and they gave us a few wrinkles that were new. But Obi really settled down, and we played much better in the second half defensively. Here's the worst play of the game from the standpoint that we don't get our defense set. We lined up wrong, and now you got a hole in the defense. But even then, we'd have been okay, but we let the ball outside the defense. So now they get a big play there to take the lead.
And then out of the spread, Bechet gets a little bit of a running play. Then he gets a 15-yard penalty for unnecessary, and they're in business again.
Well, Jim, that penalty, we stop them here, but the 15-yard penalty gave them an additional field position, and they kick a field goal to extend their lead.
That's a 49-yarder, 13-7. And it doesn't end there. The first half's not over.
No, we're struggling on offense, and right here, Morgan Trent, when we need it, comes up with a big interception. We got decent field position here, and we put together our second drive of the first half.
And Ryan Mallett in at quarterback.
Yeah, Ryan came in after the first drive, made a nice throw there deep to Mario. Going to make another play here, scrambling around. Again, a good presence. Looks down the field, finds Adrian Ayrton for a first down.
But unable to convert.
Well, we threw 3 passes down there and couldn't make a first down, and then miss a field goal. So instead of it being 13-10, now Northwestern gets a couple of good plays here, a great pitch and catch, and they are on the march.
They're on the march, and they're pretty confident. They're playing pretty confidently here in the end of this first half.
Well, they played well in the first half. Our defense did it, with the exception of the big play, managed to keep them out of the end zone. But they did make 3 field goals, so now we're 2 scores down going into the half,
right?
And having not played well.
16-7 the score at half. We might mention that Chad Henne's touchdown pass did break a record. He's now Michigan's leading touchdown pass quarterback. But at 16-7, that's kind of an empty record at that point. You had to get this team ready to go second half.
Well, Jim, there were 4 drives in there where we were 3 and out 3 times, and once 5 and out. So we weren't doing much, and our defense, with the exception of the one play, did manage to keep them out of the end zone. So we're still in the game. We're in good shape if we can just start taking advantage and doing more things, particularly on offense.
Well, the Wolverines did more things on offense the second half. We'll be back to see those highlights, but first we hear from Mike Hart, who says it was nice to have old number 7 back at the controls.
Chad's a warrior, and like I said, when he comes in, we can run a couple different plays, and he's always going to make the right reads. Ryan's still young, but Ryan did a great job today too. He didn't turn the ball over. He did what he had to do, and then Chad came in the second half and really carried us.
Michigan Replay and Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
I think the defense, as a whole, I think everybody woke up, everybody started playing hard. Everybody was where they were supposed to be, where they were supposed to be in the first half. They was actually there in the second half. So created problems. We started getting more pressure from the D-line. And then, when we went up, we got into a situation where they began to have to pass. We can turn it loose. I think when we came in, we wanted to stop the run and, make them one-dimensional and make them have to pass. And in the second half, we finally got to that.
Wolverines trailed Northwestern on Saturday at the half, 16-7. And the plan was to go with Chad Henne for the first series of the first half, first series of the second half. What changed your mind, because you went with him the entire second half? Was it medical issue or how he was feeling?
Well, our doctors and Paul Schmidt, our trainer, I think that they felt that it was perfectly fine for Chad to play. He felt great. He looked good in practice. But they did not feel that he should play an entire game. He was not ready to do that. So our thoughts were play him in the first drive of each half, and then from there see how he felt. And every time I asked him, he felt great. And here he comes
He
out.
looks great on that throw, didn't he?
Well, that's a great throw. I mean, coming to your left, and then we get the running game going a little bit here, crossing midfield, great field position.
And here on a 1st and 10, Chad hooks up again with Arrington.
Well, you know, we really did a good job protecting Chad, and this is another one of those timing routes that he sets his feet, delivers the ball before the defender can get there, and Adrian is a sure-handed guy.
And he made some great 3rd down conversions. Here's one.
Well, here's one by Greg Matthews, who he had 3, I think, on the day, and all of them were important that kept drives alive. And here, Chad checks the ball down to Carson Butler, and now we take the lead for the first time.
16-14 at that point. They're still up, actually. You didn't get the lead at that point.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you better stop that now. You know,
I've been known to do that.
I know. You got to stop that. We got to get this highlight package in. You're down 16-14, but your defense starts playing, gets the ball back to your offense, and you guys go back to work.
Well, here Chad hits Mario in the quick out and keep a drive alive. Here is probably as critical a play as there was in the ball game. This is a 60-yard punt. He's with the wind, and the ball turned over. Extremely difficult ball to catch in that wind, and we get great field position defensively.
Well, and that's the key. You got great field position. You let them out, though, on this play. They get the 1st down on you, but at this point, I think the defense really takes over, especially your front 4.
Well, they do, and we get great pressure here. Knocked the ball loose, and Brandon Graham knocked it loose, and Sean Craver got on it. We've got great field position now.
And here's a 3rd and 10 laser from Henny.
Well, this is good a play as he fits it in there, and there wasn't much space between the defender and the receiver.
Now you have the lead.
Now we have the lead.
So now you're back. It's about, you're telling me.
Well, here on the 2nd consecutive possession, we hit the quarterback. Brandon Harrison made a wonderful play blitzing off the edge and caused the ball to be thrown up in the air, some way deflected. And Tim Jameson rambled down the sideline, and we got a chance to go up by 8, but we can't convert.
Yeah, he didn't get it in the end zone, then you missed the field goal. But here's their 3rd possession and another turnover.
Well, it's good zone coverage. We had good pressure. The ball was thrown slightly behind the receiver, and Obiaze caught the ball, and now we got another chance.
Well, and Mike Hart helps you make it a little more comfortable.
Well, this is an amazing football play because that play was starting out over right tackle and ended up coming all the way back outside the left end.
Then you go behind Jake Long again. You get in the end zone. Now things are a little bit more comfortable at 28-16, but on the ensuing kickoff.
Well, you know, a week ago they ran one back 99 yards for a touchdown, and against us here, at the time where you all you have to do is get them down and not let them have great field position, but they bust a return up there for 50-some yards and great field position.
But here comes your defense.
Well, for the 4th straight possession there, Sean comes off the edge, hits a quarterback, and Terrence Taylor gets the ball, and now we can run the clock out.
28-16 the final. Talk to me about coming out of the game, and again, going back to Chad Henne and how he played in that second half, given the fact that you only wanted to get him a couple of series. How did he come out of that game with the knee health-wise?
Well, I think he came out extremely well. I think he got back into game competition. The speed of the game was good for him. The great news is that we did a great job protecting him, but I think he's very close to being back to 100%, and certainly mentally this was a game I think that really will be helpful to him because he knows he's back.
Yeah, don't want to, I know that this is probably too early to talk about this. Are you going to handle him pretty much the same way next week, or are you going to wait to see what happens in practice?
Well, we're going to see what happens in practice, Jim. That's why you practice. You should know that.
I was trying to get something good out of you, and you just threw me under the bus.
Yes, I did. I like that.
Yeah, I know you do. You enjoy
really,
that part of this.
Really, that's what we've tried to do the last 2 weeks, is to see how it goes. And Ryan Mallett is getting a lot of snaps. I thought he did some very good things in there.
And he's
today.
coming along, isn't he? I mean,
Yes.
despite the fact that it didn't go as well as you'd like today, he's still getting that experience.
Well, he had one really good drive there at the end of the half, Jim. He went on the road for the first time in the Big Ten. And, every time he plays, he's going to learn and he's going to get better from it. So I made one great throw there deep to Mario. So there's some very positive things. And you can't buy the experience he's gained in the last 3 weeks.
All right. That puts a wrap on the Northwestern game. When we come back, we'll meet Chris Graham up close and personal. But first, we hear from that man, Chad Henne, who says it's a simple case of quarterbacking and taking what they give you.
Their up front guys, their 7 guys up front, really stopped the run and gave us a chance to give open lanes, open seams for us to throw the ball. And that's what our coaching staff did, took advantage of it.
Now, the Pontiac Performance Play of the Game.
From the left hash at the 16, he drops the throw, has time, firing post cut at the goal line, touchdown Michigan, Adrian Arrington. What a throw by Henne.
Man, that was a laser from Chad Henne.
And Michigan with a 20-16 lead is going to go for 2 right here.
Linebacker Chris Graham is in his senior year at Michigan, and like a lot of others, he's played a lot. But this year, he gets his first chance to start and be a senior leader. And to Graham, leading is about being positive.
I try to make sure that I'm always positive. I try to be positive. I might have a little slump where I want to do better always. Even while I'm playing the game, I want to do better. But you can never really hold your head down. And I just try to have a positive attitude because I am a leader. I'm trying to show my leadership to the guys that are seniors also and the young guys. So that way my team can move as one and we cannot be separated. So, you try to have that same mindset and try to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So if I can show a little bit of my positive part of the team, maybe the other guys will fill in with it.
Chris is one of the more positive guys you'll ever meet. He takes obstacles in stride and makes the best of it, like his transition from high school to college.
The little thing for me was just the time frame, how much time you was spending between school and football. I was like, wow, I don't have no personal time. I want to hang out like everybody else. I see everybody doing their own thing, but that's what it is. You come here, you take care of business. You don't want to really have too much time to yourself. Or like in the second semester, you kind of have that little bit of time off, and it kind of gets distracting. But I like the football in school. Having that orderly type of thing. So I grew up with that, and I like it a lot.
These days, Chris's positive spirit has been challenged. The Wolverines' early struggles have brought out the vultures. Do you think this negative maelstrom will have an effect on Graham? This Indianapolis native says no way.
I want to play every game like it's my last game, and I try to be on every play. So if someone can make it, I guarantee you that I tap my teammates and show them that I'm right there behind them, supporting them. And that's the type of mindset that I have there. Every game could be my last game to play, so I want to be hungry as much as possible. And as far as like being with my team, I see those guys playing every day. I know how these guys have the ability, and no one gets to see it. And I just want everyone to move the same path and play that way. It's just a growing thing. We have a lot of younger guys that are fast, and this whole defense is fast. And guys want to, feel like the defense is sure-handed. We're really not. We just need to get everybody on the same page and move together.
When we had the opportunity talking to Chris Graham, this kid just won't stop smiling and he won't stop being positive.
And you know something, Jim? He's been that way since the day he got here, and that he'll be that way 25 years from now. He's just got a wonderful
And he's really improved.
approach.
He's gotten better.
Yes, he has. And he is a tough, competitive guy that loves to play.
All right, when we come back, we'll look ahead to next week in Eastern Michigan. But first, we hear from Brandon Engelman, who says, whoever the Wolverines play, they're going to be tough.
Being Michigan, we got teams that's going to come after us no matter who they are, no matter what record they have, no matter what record we have, they're going to come after us every week, so we got to be prepared.
Michigan Replay and Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
We just can't take any team lightly, you know. Every team's going to come after us, you know. Every team's going to want to put their best up against Michigan. So we just got to prepare hard every week in practice, you know, and come out and play our best on Saturdays.
Wolverines at home again next week against Eastern Michigan, just up the road, a MAC school. Again, I think this year, given what's happening around college football, Coach, strap it up every week, huh?
Well, nobody knows that better than us, but it's true. When you look around some of the things that happened this past weekend, and of course that's it's such a long season, truthfully, and you know, a lot of things can happen, and if you aren't prepared, then you have turnovers, you give up big plays, and the next thing you know, you're fighting for your life.
Well, Jeff Janik in his 4th year, Andy Schmidt, their quarterback. This is a team that beat Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois is pretty well respected.
Well, that was a great win for him. And Jeff, I think you know, this is really a competitive team. He's in his 4th year, and you know his dad was a great player here at Michigan, and he's got this team playing extremely hard.
And the Anthony White's their big wide receiver. On defense, Jason Jones is their big defensive tackle, 6'5", 270, leads the team in tackles for loss. He can play, and linebacker Daniel Holtzclaw is 4th in the NCAA in tackles, over 12 a game.
That's unbelievable statistics.
I mean, I don't care what league you're playing in, huh?
That's playing the game for 60 minutes, because 12 and a half tackles a game, you're getting to a lot of footballs.
And besides Eastern Michigan, one of the things that I think that you have to look at is the health of your team. You're getting some guys nicked up a little bit.
Well, we've got a lot of guys nicked up, Jim. We need to get in the training room this week, because we've had 5 real physical games. Saturday was a tough, hard-fought football game, and so hopefully we can get them back together. We'd like to get some of these guys back, John Thompson. But the good news is that OBSA, we've had some guys step up and really play well while guys were out.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that Mike Hart, we were talking about it during the break, at the end of the game you'd have thought he made 60, 65 yards, maybe 50. He had over 100 again. He is now 2nd in the all-time rushing list at Michigan. This kid's just amazing.
Well, he is amazing.
He's got to be your best friend, huh?
Well, he's a great leader in our football team. Of course, that's something really he's always been. But he's a selfless guy, and you know, he has the respect of everybody. And when you have a guy like him, you know, everybody's paying attention, because nobody's going to play harder than he does.
Yeah. Take your Vicks Vapo Rub, okay?
I need some, don't I?
You do. You do sound like Froggy in the Little Rascals. Hey, next week we'll talk Eastern Michigan. Hopefully he won't talk like Froggy, and you'll enjoy a victory as we come back to you, same time, same place, right here on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Sirius Satellite Radio. By the University of Michigan Alumni Association, uniting the leaders and best. www.umalumni.com. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. By AT&T, for a behind-the-scenes look at sports, visit attblueroom.com/sports. And by Powered by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA.